Yo, shit. These are on in the drum roll.
Never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
That's big because it's part of the plan Chicago had to prepare for it, and that would eliminate a lot.
All right. Saints just scored. So we'll have the playoffs on in the back. Hold on a second. Make sure I'm 100% ready. Hey, what are you doing? Of course. Got to get started here shortly. Huh? Huh? I watch TV. Yes.
Thomas, they've done so many times, but they've got to get their hands on these guys. Thomas's first touchdown in 385 days comes from Breeze.
All right. Sound doesn't sound right. Hello. There we go. Sounds better. Back up, kid. Now, in case you've been living under a rock, folks, hold on a second. All right, let's get this. Started the video a little sooner. I wasn't quite ready, but we're ready now. 26 people in the building. Hit the like button. And, of course, you're on 863 Seminole TV. And it is your host, POLK, a.k.a. Low, a.k.a. The Goddamn Truth. We're not going to waste any more time. I'm even thinking about putting some tomahawks on this thing because this weekend, Mike Norvell and company killed it. They killed them. Let me turn this TV down a little bit back here, especially on commercial. They killed the portal, folks. If you haven't been watching, the portal killer, a.k.a. Mike Norvell, did his thing. What do you want, kid? I'm not opening that. No. Go play with your dinosaurs. They are killing the portal. And I am impressed. And we're going to go over each and every guy. We're even going to look. There's a lot to go over today. Within the last 24 hours, it's actually been very exciting. It's been crazy for Mike Norvell and the crew. And before we get started on these players, let's hit this roll call real quick. I ain't opening it. No. Go get your dinosaur. Peter Shields is in the building. No-blooded. Antonio Dupree. Chris Miller. Jerry Perlin. My first time seeing you around here, Jerry. Make sure you hit the like button, share the video. And if you aren't already, subscribe to the channel. Ray Fitty. Hey, Ray. How about them Knicks whooping them Hawks? John White. Florida Gator Nation. Green Bay. Kenny Trill. Noel Squad. 226 Tim. Mr. H.A. Double, Jen, Fari, Tyler. Nobody's listening to you. Island Boy, D. Thompson, Rose, Terry. Well, we got a full house today, baby. Panama's in the building. I think I said Chris Miller already, but if I haven't, shout out to Chris Miller, Montre, Ardavius, and One Tribe 5 all in the building. Jurgens in the building. William Washington in the building. And let's get it cracking. Let's go. Andrews Morgan, man, we got a full house today, baby, because they are killing the portal. It's a lot of things to be excited about. Let's hear it with these transfers. Knicks still trash. Always find a way to hate. Always find a hate. Let's do it, baby. So I'm sitting, there were some rumblings. There were some rumblings come Saturday night. And all of a sudden, they started dropping like flies. First guy to drop, Kier Thomas, 6'2", 275-pound strong side DN/D lineman, because he's a very versatile defensive lineman, move inside and outside. Very disruptive player his time at South Carolina. Senior, he's going to be a senior grad transfer, so we're only going to get 1 year with him. Originally out of Miami, Florida, former 3-star. He has 8.5 sacks on his career. And this last season, he put up 32 total tackles, 19 solos, and 3 sacks. Again, that brings a solid amount of production when you look at FSU's defensive line, and Janarius Robinson led our way with only 3 sacks himself. And you see this kid in the back just doing what he does best. Hey, man, what are you doing back there? Okay. Yeah, Kier Thomas. That was the first guy to pop. Again, solid pick. Going to add depth to that defensive line. He's not the pass rusher necessarily that I think we were looking for. But we'll get more into that. He is a guy that I think he can play multiple positions on that defensive line. They will move him inside and outside. And again, go watch him at South Carolina. Very disruptive, very solid player. Reminds me of like a Dennis Briggs, who's already on the team. I think he's a little smaller than Dennis Briggs height-wise and length-wise. But a guy that you can move inside, outside, and just very good guy for depth. But guess what, folks? In case you missed it. Because right after he pops, like right after, next guy was DJ Williams. Now, you might know this kid if you don't know. 5'11", 210-pound running back, former 4-star, class of 2019. So that means we're going to get at least 2 to 3 years out of this one. What, boy? I'm not opening that. I told you that. Look, guys. Bro, you got 1 million of these puzzles opened already. You don't even play with them. Go play with your dinosaurs. No? Okay. He don't bother me until I get in front of the camera. Whole time, hasn't bothered me. Yeah, you don't bother me till I get in front of the camera. People want to hear the news. Don't argue with me. Don't argue with me. We want to talk Seminoles. We don't want to see you play with a puzzle. And I can't even open this thing anyway. You don't argue with me. You heard me. But if it'll get you to leave me alone. There you go. Open. I just ripped it open. Bye-bye. Go do something. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I'm getting to argue that with a 2-year-old. Like I was saying, DJ Williams, 5'11", 210-pound running back, former 4-star, class of 2019 out of Sebring, Florida, nephew of one Edgerrin James. This is a big get. We lose with Damian Webb. A lot of people, including myself, wasn't happy about the way that one played out. Couple different factors leading to LaDamian Webb being basically not kicked out, but he decided to leave. He moved on. Playing time, being away from family, a lot of different things. DJ Williams is a big get, man, and he may be more talented, maybe a more talented of a player than LaDamian Webb. In 2019, the man had 84 carries, 400 yards, 4.8 per average, 2 touchdowns, and a long of 70 yards. Last year, and only played 5 games last year. Only top double-digit carries once. Only top double-digit carries one time. He amounted 38 total carries, 199 yards, 5.2, 3 touchdowns, and a long of 41. I think it's a good get. Again, that was the second guy last night to pop. So in one night, what happened on the game? 7-0, by the way. New Orleans up over Chicago Bears. I do got that game on in the back, and we'll keep you updated on the score there. But DJ Williams, man, and he's 5'11", and he's 210 pounds. Big back, hard runner. Again, that's another kid, man. And he's got some speed to him as well. Give me the nephew of Edgerrin James any day. I'll take him. Give me another South Florida kid out of there. I'll take him. I think they're doing a lot of good things. You're throwing me off, guy. What do you want? Yes. Go watch TV. No. Okay. No. Let me go to the comments because this kid is throwing me off of my game. I'm happy to get Kier Thomas. He played a few years after me at Miami Central. He liked family. Kid got heart. He gonna bring hell on the D line. He's hungry after his injury. Yeah, he's running me crazy, as you can see. Webb was a tough back, but he didn't have that getaway speed. I think DJ has that getaway speed. All right, John Shields is in the building. Webb made the best out of every chance he got with the ball. Webb ended up at Troy, Chris Miller. He transferred to Troy. And there we go. Happy New Year to you, brother Brooklyn, Irv Gotti, Giuseppe, and everybody still here in the chat. Hit the like button if you haven't. Again, just to recap, Kier Thomas, 6'2", 275 D lineman out of South Carolina, transferred out. Strong side defensive end, will be a Seminole. Announced that last night. What are you doing? DJ Williams, Auburn transfer, former 4-star, class of 2019 running back out of Sebring, nephew of Edgerrin James. Over 500, about 600 yards of total offense in his time at Auburn. 5 total touchdowns. And next up, oh, by the way, again, guess what? This morning, so we end last night with Kier Thomas and DJ Williams. Now this morning rolls around. Guess what we get? Jamie Robinson, 5'11", 195-pound DB/safety. I think he will be a safety. He will be a safety for these Seminoles. At 5'11", 195/200. That's what he's going to be playing around. Former 3-star. He's out of Leesburg, Georgia. Another 2019 kid. So we're going to have a few years with Jamie Robinson. Starter. South Carolina transfer. So we got 2 kids from South Carolina, 1 kid from Auburn. And this guy was pretty productive in his 2 years at South Carolina. You're talking about in 2019, 62 total tackles, 46 solos, 1 forced fumble, 1 INT, 4 pass defenses. And then last year was 74 total tackles, 47 solo, 1 INT, and 4 pass defenses. Stop it. Stop it. So he was a very productive kid. Very, you see him, Brother Brooklyn, man, he's killing me back here. He ain't bothered me all day. As soon as I get in front of here he goes. Hopefully he'll get bored and he'll go away out here real quick. But that's Jamie Robinson. So in 24 hours, 3 transfers, all starters. Well, DJ Williams, I don't believe, was the starter at Auburn. Obviously, I think if you look at his amount of carries, he wasn't the starter. And he's going to come in here and he's going to compete with Toafili and Corbin off the bat. Fill that web role. Again, 5'11", 210-pound running back. Kier Thomas, definitely going to hit the rotation. And Jamie Robinson, I think, will be a starter. You already added the Arkansas defensive back. So you're shoring up the defensive backs. You shored up the defensive line. You're shoring up that running back room, which I already thought, you got a running back was a luxury. All that James Cook and Trey Sanders talk, they went out and got a guy who was really in the portal. And but guess what? Come on, man. Stop touching my helmet. Stop. Guess what, though? Because if this name doesn't sound familiar to you, here you go. Owen Carney, 6'3", 240-pound wide side defensive end. Former 3-star of Miami Central, class of 2017. So he will be a grad transfer senior from Illinois. Now, I'm not saying he's committed to Florida State. He hasn't popped yet, but he's in the portal. But he tweeted Kier Thompson last night. After Kier Thompson posted his announcement to Florida State, he tweeted, "Meet you there. Meet you there." 2020 stats are 27 total tackles, 13 solos, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Imagine FSU bringing in what you already got out of the Georgia transfer and Johnson. He brought in 5 sacks last year. Thomas brings in what I say, 3 sacks this year. Now you bring in the Illinois defensive end, Owens, with another 5 sacks. What is that, 13 sacks? That's more than FSU's entire defense got. Out of those 3 players alone, that's more than FSU's entire defense. He tweeted, "Meet you there." What does that mean? We're going to find out, I believe, sooner rather than later. That's another big time get if they're able to pull that one off. Oh, and by the way, guess what? Quincy McAdoo, Arkansas's number 1 player, 6'3", 175-pound wide receiver, 4-star nationally, 218, the 28th overall wide receiver. And again, like I said, the number 1 player in the state of Arkansas, class of 2022, just committed today. So in 24 hours, FSU gets 4 players, a potential 5th one. And you can see, by the way, Mike Norvell is really recruiting this wide receiver position, that he likes his big, tall receivers. Again, that's his guy is 6'3". I was able to watch something like a 7-on-7. He's got some real springs in his leg. I'm not opening that. Go. He's got some springs in his legs. He can go up there and get the ball. Big time wide receiver there out of Arkansas. How can you be mad? This 2022 class really has a chance of being something special when you look at what they already have. That's what you get. Go sit down. Where was I? I lost my place again. Talking about these big time wide receivers, talking about what the 2022 class may end up being. You already have, in my opinion, the best high school player in the country committed. Matter of fact, let's see who they have. Who do they have in this 2022 class so far? I know they've got a couple guys. Let's check it out real quick. Come on now. (2022) Right now, you got 3 guys committed, and Travis Hunter, obviously, again, guy who I believe is the best high school player in the country. Quincy McAdoo, and this was the guy I was really trying to remember what his name was. Nigelic Kelly, strong side defensive end, 6'4", 235, and that's not even counting what they still have left to potentially land in the 2022 class. They're making big time moves. Oh, I almost forgot. And if you didn't know, Taiwan Malone was on campus this weekend. The 6'3.5", 300-pound defensive tackle, 4-star, nationally 61, the top 5 defensive tackle and the number 1 player out of the state of New Jersey, was also on campus this weekend. Liked what he saw from everything I heard, was really impressed with the baseball program from everything I heard. And the unfortunate news here is he did say he is planning on taking a visit to Texas A&M next weekend. And Jimbo's going to get his hands on him. And we'll see if we'll be able to keep that. But that is a huge weekend for the Seminoles. And I'm going to go to the comments and see what you guys think about that. But give me 1 second while I get this pain in the ass out of here. Give me 1 second. And I will be right back.
These are on in the drum roll.
I never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
All right, here we go. Let's hit these. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. But that is pretty much it. I mean, a ton of news, big time moves. And some guys that still potentially can land here. Let's get to y'all's thoughts. And I'm just checking my Twitter feed real quick, seeing if anything else has popped up. I don't see anything. Don't see anything else. Let's see if I can find off where we left off. 78 people in here, man. Hit the like button. Let's check on this game. Still 7-0 New Orleans. Wanted another offense. We're not done yet. Because we're not done yet. We're gonna keep talking about this, man. And I listened, heard this earlier. I mean, worst case scenario. So, worst case scenario, FSU still has 3 spots left. That's the worst case scenario, but I'm actually hearing they have 4 to 5 spots left in this class. 4 to 5 spots left. So even with taking 3 guys, you still get your offense. You're still going to get your offensive tackle, I believe. You're still going to get, let's assume we land the defensive end out of Illinois, since he's talking, he's capping. Let's see if he comes through. Let's see if he's a take for Florida State. I don't see why he wouldn't be. That'd still leave, again, 4 or 3 spots. You're still gonna, I think 2 is gonna be reserved. I think the 2 big fish left are obviously Hill and Malone and an offensive tackle. And now you can wait. Look, the portal's going to go on all summer. There's no reason to rush and take an offensive tackle. If you haven't been paying attention to this portal, man, the portal is absolutely nuts. Someone enters the portal every single day. There's going to be more guys that are going to continue to enter the portal. There's no reason to rush it. There's no reason to rush it. They are going to find their offensive tackle, in my opinion. I still think we get Hill. The question's gonna be Malone. I think Malone likes Florida State. I think he likes what he saw. But I'll be honest with you, him taking a visit to A&M isn't the best news in the world. I don't know if A&M's gonna let him leave College Station without really considering what he's doing. I have no idea how good A&M's baseball program is. Again, I think he liked what he saw, but that one's going to be a battle. Irv Gotti said, yeah, as soon as I heard he's going to visit A&M, I threw my hands in the air. A&M is going to sell him pipe dreams, drop some bags. Yeah, I don't disagree right there, Irvis. That one's going to be tough, man. That one is going to be tough. FSU's going to be down to the wire in it, but like you said, he's going to go to A&M, and they're gonna do everything in their power to make sure they land that. Possibly, I hear we're waiting on this offensive tackle. I believe he's from Auburn, I think, but they definitely waiting on this particular O tackle. If we can add Trey Walker or Rambo, 8 games winning, definitely. Right now, bro, if we get Hill, I think when you talk about Rambo, I want to say if they miss out on Hill, I think they will land Rambo. I don't think they're going to waste their time taking Rambo when you have other pressing needs. If you miss out on Destin Hill for whatever reason, then Rambo's definitely a take. But you see the plan here, man. So they're allowing kids. No. So this isn't. So let's specify what's going on with these kids and them taking their visits. These are. The NCAA is not allowing the schools to host visits, meaning usually in a normal recruiting cycle, the school pays for you and your family of however many, they do their weekend events or whatever, they, do their visits. That's a school expense trip. They fly you down to whatever school you're going to visit, pay for everything, show you around the campus. You're usually, whoever's recruiting you is your like host or whatever, show you around, all that good stuff. The schools are not allowed to do that. What's happening is these kids are taking it into their own hands, paying for these trips themselves, and there's no rule that says a kid can't go on campus at Florida State. There's no rule that says a kid can't go on campus at Texas A&M. They just, when they're there, there's no contact with coaches. There's no contact, not supposed to be any contact with the coaches. You're basically just there touring the campus, looking around as if you were any Joe off the street. Okay, that's how the rule is supposed to go, right? Now, if you think for 1 second that a Tywone Malone is showing up to Florida State and he doesn't have some contact with some coach there while he's being shown around, and someone, the football facility magically was unlocked, all that stuff is happening. Don't get yourself twisted. But that's what's taking place. Officially, these kids are going there on their own and just looking at the campus and walking around as if they were anybody just visiting the campus. That's what's officially happening. Unofficially, use your imagination. You can kind of see where this is going. You think Chumbo will convince him to go to A&M? I think it's going to be a hard fight. Look, we can say what we want about Jimbo, all we want. I've never doubted his recruiting. So, I mean, hey, 4 spots left. Yeah, that's what I said. 4 to 5. I think worst case scenario is 3. But I mean, 4 spots, that's enough to fill out. Again, you're going to get another defensive end, 2 of the high school kids potentially, and your offensive tackle. Whoever commits, I just hope they work hard and compete. Last 2 years, our players didn't work hard. So with that being said, if they got the dog in them, I'll take it. Bring me Hill. That's all I ask. Great Wall Bell, what's up? Does Dillingham have a connection to any more Auburn pieces? Great question. And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. That's a great question. Can Jamie commit already? He's already locked. He committed today, Jalen. He's committed today. A&M going to drop bags. Their baseball program is good. And the baseball thing has really seemed to be a big thing with Malone. He's really looking at these schools' baseball programs. He seems to be dead set on playing both sports. So there you go. There you go. Who came from Mississippi and Arkansas? So we got nobody from Mississippi, Wanda. We got 2 guys from South Carolina. We got a DB from Arkansas. We also got their number 1 player in the state, Quincy McAdoo. We got him from Arkansas today. Nobody from Mississippi, though. I'm Harold Ramborough is considering UNC and SMU. Would make sense. Again, I think FSU's they already got Parchment, who I like. I think FSU is going all in on Destin Hill. And if they miss out on that, which I don't think they're planning. I mean, you can say what you want. I don't think they plan on missing on Hill. And if they miss on Hill, I guess they'll look elsewhere. But I think they're putting all the bullets in the chamber for Destin Hill. Hold on. Chat jumped on me. I get your drip. Yeah. Did you see the PWO running back we added? CJ Campbell. You should pull his tape up. I was shocked he didn't have any offers. I did see that. That was like a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I've watched his tape, though. But I'll definitely check that out. If we do get Rambo, you think our offense will be deadly? I think our offense. Look, as long as we add another offensive lineman to really. If anything else, you need to add depth to the O-line, period. But you need to add a starting caliber guy. Mackenzie Milton, bro. I think our offense. I don't know if deadly is the word, but it's going to be vastly improved from last year, just with the consistent quarterback play. The running back stable. Yeah, I don't know if deadly's the word. It remains to be seen if deadly is the word, but consistent and effective is definitely the word. That's definitely the word. Wanda says, I hope they're wearing their mask. A&M has the oil money, golden toilet seat. Yeah. No lies told there. So more of our current players could leave too. I haven't heard of anyone else opting out. I know people like to try to spin that, not saying you are. I haven't heard of any more guys potentially leaving. And some of the guys that were rumored, like the Brandon Gantz of the world, they've been tweeting the newest commit saying, let's go, let's get started, we're ready to go. So if I had to think of any more potential transfers on this team, again, the only one I can think of, I keep saying his name, but he's been very quiet and he probably isn't transferring, is Donta Lucas, and that's only because he was at one point going to transfer and he stayed. Other than that, I don't see anybody else leaving as far as transfers. Now, Emmett Rice still has a decision to make on whether he's going to go to the NFL or try to go to the NFL or not. Everything I've heard says Emmett Rice is going to stay another year. Other than that, I don't think FSU is on the verge of losing anybody. I think everybody's locked in. Jerry and Jones tweets daily about Florida State. I don't see, unless somebody knows something I don't, which is possible, definitely, because I'm just a guy on YouTube talking Florida State. But I don't foresee any more transfers. Speaking of transfers, Raymond Woody did announce that he's going to Cal, so good luck to Raymond Woody on the West Coast. Again, that was a good kid, hard worker. I think we've upgraded, to say not to say anything bad about Raymond Woody, but I would dare say we definitely upgraded that position with his departure and the guys that we brought in. One Tribe says, Pope, do you think we need another linebacker? Now, personally, I do think we need another linebacker. But from everything I've heard and the way I see this staff moving, the moves they're making, I think that they think they're good at linebacker. Because they do have some bodies at linebackers. They got the Kavion Glynns and the Jalen McClusters and Jaleel McCrae's. They got some guys we didn't even get to see play last year. Still got Amari Gaynor against Dix, Lundy, Emmett Rice, allegedly coming back. We'll see how Emmett Rice plays this thing out. Leonard Warner came back now. I think they're going to use him more at defensive end and not linebacker, but you get my drift. I think they like what they have at linebacker. I think more so they like what they have at the youth at linebacker. I think they like Emmett Rice. I think they have high hopes on Steven Dix and Lundy. Again, I think they're moving Warner to defensive end, so I'm not too worried there. And I think they have some athleticism at these other linebacker spots. I think they're hoping that another year in this system that the linebacker play will improve. I think that is the plan with them. From just the way I've seen the staff move, I do not think they are pressed for a linebacker. Me personally, I kind of think they should add a veteran guy back there or a guy that kind of offsets what they already have. Because you look at what they already have, they got 236-pound Dix, 240-some-odd-pound Lundy. They've got big linebackers. I think you might want to add a shifty guy who can move in space and cover. I would say that's our biggest weakness at the backer position is they cannot cover in space at all. So if I was them, that would be something that I would maybe target. They doesn't seem to be a priority for them. So we'll see. We'll judge that position next year for sure. That'd be the one position I think all eyes would be on, because I think you look at defensive end, they've upgraded big time. I think they've upgraded the defensive end big time. Defensive tackle remains to be seen, but quite frankly, Corey Durden wasn't bringing you much production. Losing a guy like Marvin Wilson's never a good thing, but let's be honest, Marv did not have his best year. We'll see how Fabian Lovett and Cooper and True Thompson and some of these guys get with more snaps. I think that defensive backfield looks like it's upgraded pretty substantially, in my opinion. And the defensive end is up. Defensive end room is upgraded. So that linebacker room may be the one room that you kind of look at it and go, What you didn't address it. Now the dog wants to bark. Get rid of one thing, now the dog wants to bark. Boy, today ain't my day. The defensive end room, the linebacker room will be the one glaring spot on the defense I think people will really watch closely because you didn't address it. I think they should. The staff doesn't seem to be interested in addressing it. Tim says, man, I must admit, man, no matter how my day or week goes, this YouTube channel definitely keeps my spirit high. Hey, Tim, I appreciate the fact that I am someone that, brings a positive to your life, man. Honestly, like that means a lot. That really does. Because when I started this thing, it wasn't, I just didn't do it for fun. But the fact that people actually come and watch me and enjoy listening to me and like my inputs and opinions and like engaging, that's the best right there, man, for sure. Rose says, I see Norvell and company been bringing SEC players these last couple years. I'll be honest with you, Rose. I could care less about what conference they're from. Just give me guys who want to play and who want to be productive. Chat jumped on me, guys. Give me a minute. Okay, so what's up, Mayan King? With all the transfers, what's your super early prediction for wins next season? All depends on, for me, I'll be completely honest with you. It's going to depend on what they do with that offensive line. If they add a legit left tackle and are able to move Love Taylor to guard with the guards we already have, with a freshman All-American at that other tackle spot, whew, I could get real stupid here with with my predictions. I might get real stupid with my predictions, man. Tell some as we say on Twitter, I might end up telling some elite lies on here if we add some big time transfer on this offensive line. So with all the transfer, okay, I just read that, my bad. Mississippi State, sorry. Best podcast. Thank you, Mike. I would like to see Mackenzie Milton and Jordan Travis line up side by side so the defense does not know who's actually going to be the quarterback. That'd be an interesting wrinkle. That would definitely be an interesting wrinkle. Did you see that list? A couple guys have been true on that list. I reported that list a while ago, Green Bay. Yeah, and the list has been fairly accurate. As a matter of fact, I think I still have the list. I think I still got it. Let me see. I don't know if I have to dig for it or not. If you want to go over that list real quick, we can do it, though. I got to find it. See, now I've already started looking for it, and I'm not going to be able to stop until I find it. So bear with me. Blame Green Bay for this. Blame him for this because come on. I know it's here. No, go back. I know it's here. Bear with me. And we'll see who on this list. It was a 12-man list. So I remember. Definitely remember. But now I got to find it because now it's going to bother me if I don't find it. So we're going to find this list and we're going to address these names. Here it is. Bam. 12-man list. Again, this all credit goes to Nate Greer. He's the one who released this list. Blackman, check. Woodbay, check. Warren Thompson, check. J-Rob, I guess it's a check. He went pro. He didn't transfer, but we'll go check. McCray has denied that he's leaving. Durden, check. Deloach has denied that he's leaving. I've heard that Dent is not leaving. From people that actually know him personally, have talked to him, they say Dent is not leaving. Quayshawn Fuller, he hasn't said one way or another, but he's continuously posting Florida State stuff. He just had his birthday. I think his matter of fact, shout out to Quayshawn Fuller. I think his birthday is today, as a matter of fact. So we'll see about Fuller. Brandon Gant has denied that he's leaving. Donta Lucas has not denied that he's leaving. Matter of fact, Donta Lucas was a name that was all but out. but he's still here. And it's reported that him, Mike Norvell, and Atkins smooth things over. So far, Lucas is still a stay. And Robert Cooper has denied that he's leaving, saying he's all in. So out of this list, Greer was actually pretty spot on with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 12 ain't half bad. Not quite 50%. But a lot of these guys that are left on this list have already came out and denied that it's false. So we'll see, man. But that is the list that you were referring to. CJ Campbell last season. Only other offer was Davidson. You watch his tape, though. It looks like he could end up being our freshman running back class. Raymond Woody sucked. Do we know if any early enrollees? Do we know if any are early enrollees? So from the guys that in the last 24 hours, I don't know if any of them are early enrollees or not. Woodbay's gone. He's at Boston College. Woodbay transferred to Boston College. And like One Tribe 5 also tweeted that it's personal. So good luck to him. But if it's personal, it's going to be personal. It's going to be personal when Corbin run you over again. The DP position is a definite must to address. They've already addressed DB. Polk, that Denton guy, should be light enough to put. Yeah, but I don't know if Eubanks is going to be able to play. You know, again, I'm not very high on Eubanks. I don't know if Eubanks is good enough to play year 1 at Florida State. I mean, shout out to Eubanks, and I hope it proves me all the way wrong. But yeah. Hold on, let me turn up the back here. 3-7, New Orleans is on top of the Bears. I really like the walk linebacker. Okay, yeah. He's another kid. Was it him though? He's like 240 pounds. Is it him or is it another kid? But I do know that name does sound familiar. I think I talked about him a couple of episodes. There's so many names, bro. I can't unless I write stuff down. I don't remember everybody. Brian Walter says Marv Wilson showed out against NC, but since then he looked like he was in coast mode. With running that 4-2-5, you don't need a ton of depth at backer. DB, D-line are more important. Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Lorenzo. So yeah, but with that said, I would still have liked for them to add a guy who can cover, because that is the linebacking core's weakness. And any decent offensive coordinator will attack the middle of the field against Florida State because our linebackers can't cover. Please stop it. Woodbay ain't it anyway. Who cares if he left? Addition by subtraction. Has the schedule for next season been released? So the schedule's been out. Now, exactly the order of the schedule and who plays when, like the ACC schedule, hasn't been released as far as the dates. But the schedule's been out. Our non-conference games next year are going to be, of course, Florida, UMass, I think Jacksonville State, and Notre Dame. Some important pieces on that list. I just asked a question for one. Okay, y'all talking about whatever. Fuller has no more excuses. That's the only thing that keeps me from telling that's the only thing that keeps me very reserved on how I want to talk about this team going into next year, is the fact that Adam Fuller still coaches this defense. He's definitely going to have no excuses. If you want to give him excuses, that's on you. But when I look at Fuller, let me fix my camera. I'm like not even in the camera. Okay. When I look at Fuller, and one of the excuses that was used for Fuller this year was the players. The players, whether they didn't buy in, whether they weren't his type of guys, whatever. Fine. That was his excuse. Well, guess what Mike Norvell did? He's completely flipped this roster, bro. They've gotten, close to 20 some odd kids have left this program. They've brought in really solid, especially speaking in the transfer portal. Now, the recruiting class remains to be seen. But with the guys they brought in this transfer portal, the 7 guys so far that they brought in this portal, I think are all really, really good gets. I mean, you got the best quarterback in the portal. The best defensive end probably in the portal. Probably the best safety in the portal. I mean, come on. What excuse is Adam Fuller gonna have? He's not gonna have any excuse. I don't want to hear that. It's not his type of kids or any of that next year if this defense looks the same way it looked. Don't want to hear any of that. What 2020 kids you think are going to take a step next year? So many of these guys need the weight room right now. 2020 kids. So guys that are already on the roster or last year's recruiting class. I mean, I don't know. I got to think about that one. Ready to take a step. I mean, we need those wide receivers from that 2020 class to all take a step. That's probably first and foremost. Toafili going to hit that weight room. I expect him to take a major step. But now, I mean, that running back, the running for normally you'd be kind of worried, right? Because that running back room is extremely deep. And I don't know if guys like Corey Wren, I don't know if Corey Wren's still going to not see the field next year. Right? I have no idea if Corey Wren still may not see the field next year. With that said, that running back room is definitely deep. But I think Toafili's going to take a step. Oh my God, he's back. Again, I need all those wide receivers to take a step. Steven Dix doesn't necessarily need the weight room. We just need his play to improve as far as especially in the coverage and shooting the right gaps. I mean, there's a couple names you could really get out there. What do you want, man?
To get here today, you're in the right place. My seminars are great to help young homeowners.
Let's see what else we got. Gather all the players and make them study the true history of the Black Seminole Alliance with the Seminole Tribe, Great Warriors. I've talked about that on here before, Noel Power, but thank you for putting that out there. Absolutely. The opponents have been released, but the start times of games obviously have been right. I'm sorry, but we don't need no more DBs. I know we're DBU, but damn. I don't think they're going to take any more DBs, Jalen. Notice all the transfers didn't really go to better schools than Florida State. These guys just weren't our level. Talking about the guys that we lost. Yeah, I mean, you make a decent point there. Yeah, I can't think of anybody. I remember Trey McKitty went to Georgia, but he went to Georgia only to catch. I think Trey McKitty only caught like 4 balls this year. He could have stayed at Florida State for that. But yeah, Durden goes to NC State. Fagan went to NC State. Woodbay went to Boston College. Raymond Woody went to Cal. James Blackman hasn't. We don't know where James Blackman is going yet. No idea where Warren Thompson is going yet. So, yeah, good point there. I don't know. With the amount of stuff that Notre Dame's losing Green Bay, I think that is an extremely winnable game next year. I really do. And we get them first game. And, I mean, you're talking about probably they're going to have, an entirely new offensive line and a brand new quarterback. What's the problem, bro? Go watch TV. We added quite a few transfers as walk-ons. Did Jordan Young stay? Jordan Young still on the team? Still on the team? Will he ever live up to his potential? That's a great question. It's important how we play for 2021 for the future. Next year's crucial on the field and on the trail. Next year is crucial, but it looks to me like Mike Norvell is setting this team up to not only compete next year, but I think to win some games. I think recruits are starting to feel a little more relaxed now about coming to Florida State based on what they've witnessed with this coaching staff and the transfer portal. Seen some people on FSU board saying they are big Fuller fans. I just wonder how that's possible. You know, we'll see. I'm not a big fan of him, but you know what? He has all the opportunity next year. Come in and shut me up. What do you want, son? What do you want? Pizza. You want pizza? Oh my God, I guess he's hungry. Oh, what did Fuller do before DC at FSU? Man, just go Google his resume, Chris. That'll tell you everything you need to know. Uh-oh, what happened? 14-7 New Orleans. Looked like a pick six or something. Yeah, what happened?
Oh, what happened? Oh, what happened? Oh, what happened?
Nope, it was a fumble. It was a fumble. 14. Was that 14-3 New Orleans? Mario Edwards just made a big play in these Saints versus Bear games. Got a couple Knowles here in this game. PJ's still playing for the Saints. Of course, we know Jameis, but Jameis ain't getting no playing time. Mario Edwards plays for the Bears. Eddie Goldman plays for the Bears, even though I think he's on the injured reserve right now. Corey Wren might transfer next year. We'll see. I don't think so. I just think people need to stop rushing him. I will go on a limb. If FSU win 8 or 9 games this year, easy. If FSU wins 8 or 9, one tribe, easy top 10 class. Like you said, maybe top 5. Look at the guys FSU's in the mix with. Look at what they already have. You got officially, I think he's a number 4 player in all of high school in Travis Hunter. Officially, yeah. Officially, he's the number 4 player nationally, number 2 player at his position, which I don't see even how that's possible, and the number 1 player in the state of Florida. That's officially, to me, he's the best high school player in the country of what he does offensively and defensively. Already got him. Already got the number 1 player in the state of Arkansas. Big 6'3" wide receiver. Got a chance for Marvin Jones Jr. next year. Got a chance for a legit offensive tackle prospect next year. And I always say his name wrong, or at least I think I'm saying his name wrong. And Armelia, who's another legacy guy. Like I said, man, this staff, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. But stop. That on the field stuff has to come with it, though. Stop it. Oh my God. Heard they might give Wren and Douglas looks at Douglas. Douglas was already pretty much playing that role anyway, as far as in the slot out, spreading out wide receiver. So I don't worry too much about Ja'Kai Douglas getting playing time. Wren is the one that I kind of they still got that running back that put up 6. But without that offensive line, we'll see if he's a different back. Kane for life in the building. I got it crowded today here, man. Hit the like button. 100 people in here, man. Big weekend. Big 24 hours for Florida State. That's why everybody's in here. And I got this brat. Stop. Told Philly will definitely benefit from the weight room, but Robert Scott's another one. Forgot all about Robert Scott. That kid is already a freshman All-American. Once he actually hits the weight room and turns some of that baby fat into muscle, Robert Scott could end up being an NFL draft pick at tackle. Sidney Williams, Schrader, all them guys. It's time to – yeah, boy. We got Quincy McAdoo. Yep, talked about that already. Yeah, exactly, Chris Miller. There wasn't much of anything. So you just answered your own question there when we talk about Adam Fuller. You just answered your question there. They did put Grothis. They did put Grothis on Scully. Yes, they did. That was that Friday or Thursday. They put him on scholarship. Yes, they did. Where do you think Terry goes in the draft? First, early, second round? I think if Terry, I'm telling you guys right now, again, just because I've watched this sport for so long, if Terry puts up some of the combine numbers, I think he might. He's going to be a mid to late first round pick. He will go no later than the second round, though. He'll go no later than the second round. If he runs a 4.3 at 6'4", 200 plus, yeah, you can forget it. Eddie Goldman opted out of playing this year. Terry going third or fourth. Terry's the third to fifth rounder. Didn't have enough tape. The tape ain't even gonna matter. I'm telling you right now, that dude puts up. If that dude runs a 4.3 at the combine, if he runs slower than a 4.3, then yeah, he'll go third through five, I believe. I got you, man. Give me 1 second. The people can see you cry, so you don't want to cry. Our millionaires race is that's gonna be tough. But I'm telling you right now, dog, if they can win 8 or 9 games, I think FSU's in a really good spot for him. He's very pro FSU now, obviously, being a legacy kid. He's very pro FSU already. But I agree, man. That race is going to be tough. He's not going fifth. What about Sam McCall kid that decommitted from the Gators? That's another 2022 kid that FSU has a chance. Out of my alma mater in Lake Gibson. 5-star athlete, McCall. Yep, that's another guy. Tell him, Jer, hit that like button. Robert Scott came out of nowhere. Literally, everyone thought he was a project, Brandon, including myself. I was like, Robert Scott, that kid's not going to play year one. He's a project. He may be a good tackle 2 or 3 years down the road. Nope. Freshman All-American. Surprised everybody. Get him in that weight room. Get him handled. Terry goes earliest third round. This class is too stacked. Well, I mean, I guess when you have Devontae and Waddle, you make a good point there. I just think if the kid runs a very fast combine time, his size, somebody's going to – I mean, I've seen teams draft a Darius Hayward-Bay who had no college production, but he was big and fast. I think Terry could be in the same mold there. We got the youngest team. Hold on. We got the youngest team in the NCAA, which to me is a great thing to remember how young and garbage we were in 2008 when we lost to USF, Greg Reed, Nigel Bradman crew. Remember the years, they changed a lot. What's the rationale for spreading the offers around to so many QBs? Well, because you can't miss out on one. Because you can't miss out on one next year. They're not taking a high school quarterback this year. Okay, we didn't get Luke. They went with Mackenzie Milton instead. Next year, you have to take 1, if not 2 quarterbacks next year. So that's why they're offering 6, 7, 8, 9 cute quarterbacks because you can't miss out on one. What you need, the plan should be to really get your guy, whether that's Nico, whether that's whoever. Get your guy and take a very similar to what Norvell did when he first got here. Got his guy in Purdy and got sort of a project guy in Roadmaker. I think next year they're going to do something very similar and probably going to try to take 2 quarterbacks if they can. Imagine McCall, Hunter at DB. If Fuller can't lock that up, I agree. If you can't play with some of these guys that Fuller's getting, then you don't need to be the coach no more. That's pretty apparent. I don't even think that's much of a question. Don't even think that's much of a question. I think this team takes a step this year. Darius Hayward-Bay, another bad Al Davis pick when Michael Crabtree, Jerry Macklin should have been the pick. But that's what I'm saying. Somebody's gonna. I mean, you saw in Troy Smith when the Vikings took him because that dude could run a 4.2 every year. I mean, Perryman, the kid out of UCF, I believe. Didn't he run like a 4.1 or something really crazy? I don't think he did the combine, but he did his own personal workout and ran like a 4.1. Man, every year, these kids go to the combine or do their workouts and run these crazy 40 times and get drafted off of it with little to no college production. Terry could be in the same mold. Now, a lot of those guys also turn out to be busts, but we'll see. Jeffrey Bell. Big weekend, Jeffrey. My thoughts on these guys, I like all of them. Now, I know that's easy to say. I'm biased. I'm a Florida State fan. I'm not going to sit here and say these all guys suck. But I think if you look at them, you're getting legit guys who started legit games for SEC level teams. I mean, what's there not to like? Our running back we got out of the portal, nephew of Edrin James. What's there not to like? My freshman year we massively over recruited at linebacker. By my senior year, we had linebackers at guard, tight end, and everywhere. Saw someone say the reason Gaynor led the team in tackles was because teams saw him as a liability and ran at him. Does that make sense? I don't even think that makes sense. That someone team saw him as a liability and ran at him. Okay. Our defense got a couple stops last year, but our offense just couldn't do anything. That's true, too. Our offense was inept just as much as our defense, with some inconsistent quarterback play and injuries bottled up the offense. So, if nothing else, man, just adding depth to all these positions helps. Definitely helps. No, it doesn't make sense at all. Okay, I thought maybe it was just me, Tyler. I've never heard that type of assessment before, that, oh, you led the team in tackles because everybody ran at you. I've never heard that in the history of football, but sometimes, I don't know everything, man. Sometimes maybe I'm just missing something. FSU should play a spring game. They should play FAMU or Bethune in April, etc. The NCAA and FSU should think about that with other teams too. I definitely think there will be a spring for every team this year. I've talked about them playing FAMU. That should be something that could be easily worked out. I don't think it's going to happen though. You run at someone you know is going to tackle you. Who said that? Do you think they changed the defense from a 3-man to a 4-man front, possibly 4-2-5? Based on what we were told about the guy when he came in, we were supposed to run that 4-2-5, and instead we ran a 3-3-5 for a majority of the year. We'll see. We'll see what adjustments Adam Fuller makes. Buddy Kennedy says next year is a display year, not even about wins and losses, but about showing what the vision is about what we want to look like. Because to me, next year's recruiting class is so pivotal. I do think you need to. I'm not saying you got to win 10. Hell, you could win 7, but you got to be competitive in every game. You got to fight in every game. Definitely show these kids that 2022 class could immediately come in and change. Are you sleepy or something? Or are you hungry? Now you want somebody to hold you. Hungry? Okay. Dude in a No Game Day Discord who claims to be a football coach also thinks he's one of those triple option video. I also think he's in those triple option videos. You guys tell me all about these X's and O's, and they seem to have some pretty bad takes. I think when I first discovered that channel, I watched a couple videos, and some of the breakdowns were pretty solid. I have a habit of not watching too much Florida State content because I don't want it to be like I'm taking other people's takes. So I have a habit of not watching. I'll watch other YouTubers, but that's mainly from other teams. I try not to watch too much Florida State stuff because I try to come on here and everything I give you guys be my own take and my own thoughts. So I don't watch them too much. But every time you guys come on here, you guys say they always riding Adam Fuller and having these ridiculous type of takes. Mine says that doesn't make any sense. From now till August, what gets done and what doesn't is going to determine what product we get on the field. I don't care what the vision is, what all the talent on the line next year, you better win. Is anybody else happy that Blackman experiment is over? I wish him well wherever he ends up. I think everybody's happy for Black in both ways. I think maybe he can finally go somewhere with a staff that actually believes in him. Again, he was a diehard Seminole, so you always hate to see a kid that loved the university to move on, but definitely was time to move on from James Blackman. X's on O's lost me after the Fuller video, where they basically said he had one good half of football against UNC, so we should keep him. So we should keep him. All right. Hit the like button, folks, if you haven't, but we are doing good things here. And yeah, I talked about it. I think we talked about it, right? About with the spots left, potential 4 to 5 spots remaining. What do you think of the Jaron Willis kid? Who is that? Jaron Willis. Who is Jaron Willis? Who is Jaron Willis? But now the question becomes, again, these 4 to 5 spots left. You know what? Give me a minute, folks. We'll be right back. I'm gonna go do something with this kid. I think he's hungry. Be right.
These are pawn in the drum roll.
I never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I was in the game on 4th inches.
Now it's time to go to work. We should be good. Should be good now. Jesus. Robert, let me tell you, Polk, if we win 8 or 9 games this year, the next few years, we're going to be something serious. Jaron Willis, 2022 linebacker out of Lee County. Okay, I haven't even checked him out yet. I just sent you a DM. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, I haven't even checked him out yet. I'll definitely check him out. Hybrid safety, 6'2", 220. I'll definitely check his tape out and get back with you guys on him for sure. Blackman was the clip core kind of player who's fully dressed for the game, but wears the ball cap and helps send signals into the game. That's what he was brought in to be. Injuries and mismanagement of the quarterback room forced him into playing. That's essentially what happened with James Blackman. Let's check on the score. 7-3 at halftime. Apparently they called back that fumble return for a touchdown. So we got 7-3. The Saints are up on the Bears. Here, I'll put that score on the board. Bears 3. Saints 7. No, that's not what. There we go. There we go. Okay, so what else are we talking about? Because basically that's it. Huge weekend for Florida State. FSU did Norvell's he's the portal killer. Again, that's why I call him Mike Norvell, a.k.a. the portal killer. What I like about what he's doing is just the fact that he's getting guys that all the smoke around some of these kids, and every time a big name ends up in the portal, and everybody's like, FSU going to be on this kid or that kid. He's doing a good job of getting guys that I think are kind of under the radar in terms of, I think he obviously is having contact with some of these kids before they're hitting the portal, because I knew nothing about the defensive lineman from South Carolina. Now, Jamie Robinson has kind of been trending FSU now for the last week or so, because he was in Tallahassee last weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And people pretty much kind of knew that was going to happen. I think the DJ Williams thing kind of came out of nowhere. I think, some of these guys kind of are coming out of nowhere. So shout out to the staffer. I mean, again, I think they obviously have a plan. They have a direction they want to go. So that in and of itself is good to see. It's good to see them have a plan, have a direction of where they want to go. And I'm just happy with the fact that they're getting guys that fit what they want to do. So that's why there's no excuse for an Adam Fuller next year. There's no excuse for anybody to come in here next year and tell me it's the kids. It's the kids. No excuse. What was that? That was the argument I had with a majority of the fans this year was, well, the kids aren't good. The kids aren't bought in. The kids this, and we need better kids. The kids aren't talented. Even though they're 4 and 5 stars, a lot of them are overrated. Okay. I got it. A lot of them are overrated. But guess what? They're gone. All those guys you hated. I argue with people all year that Marvin Wilson was overrated bum. Okay. I defended him, but you know what? He's gone. Can't blame Marv no more. You can't blame Kane though. Can't blame J-Rob. Can't blame. Name them. Name the guy you want to name. No more seeing Raymond Woody in coverage anymore because he's gone. The ball's in your court, Adam Fuller. All the guys everybody said was a problem. Yes, sir. Okay. See you later. All the guys people wanted to blame, they're gone, man. So I don't want to hear it. Especially defensively. Offensively, there's going to be no excuses either. Worst case scenario, you don't get another offensive lineman out of the portal. You miss out on Destin Hill. Okay, cool. You still added another running back to fill in for Webb. Again, with the way Mike Norvell likes to run his offense, 3 running backs is the norm for him. He's going to run primarily 2 guys, use another couple guys. 3 to 4 running backs is how he likes to run his offense anyway. There's going to be enough touches to go around. You still added Parchment, who's going to be probably Mackenzie Milton's number 1 target. Oh, and by the way, at the end of the day, you still added Mackenzie Milton. There's not a lot of excuses that's going to be able to go around for this team next year, guys. Not a lot of excuses, barring FSU gets just bitten with the injury bug. then okay. Knock on wood. Barring Milton goes down, then Jordan Travis goes down. And all the, barring some crazy injury bad luck, no excuses going into next year. Very, very, very limited excuses, offensively and defensively. Because I think they've added really major pieces at both sides, on both sides of the ball. Green Bay says, I'm really intrigued with that Carney kid. I wonder what he's up to with his situation. That's the defensive end I was talking about, right? Out of Illinois. He said, he tweeted, I'll meet you there. So we're going to see. I don't know. I don't know if he's waiting to pop for a reason. His situation is very interesting. But we could definitely use that pass rusher off the edge for sure. Keeping Love Taylor was huge. Keeping Love Taylor was huge because even if you don't land another tackle, you still got Taylor. Now the problem with Love Taylor is I think when you play some teams with some of the elite pass rushers, and I'm mainly talking Clemson. I don't know Miami's defensive end. I think Miami's losing like all their defense, like these their top 3 defensive ends. We know Rousseau opted out, Phillips, and the other guy. I think both are declared for the draft. So I don't know Miami's DN position next year, but I'm mainly speaking of my problem with Love Taylor is when he goes against some of those big time defensive ends, those are legit pass rushers. I don't know if he's good enough to stack up consistently. And I think that's where you want a guy that's more in that 6'6", 6'7", huge wingspan, athletic type mold. And Love Taylor's really more fit to be a guard anyway. That's why I want you to add that extra piece. But even if, again, worst case scenario, if you don't land some of that, you still have Love Taylor there to fit in that position and at least can be solid and can be counted on. What do you want, my friend? You eating your chips. Got it. What was your opinion on the Memphis OT second? So a lot of people thought there was smoke there. I heard a rumor that Norvell agreed that when he left, he wouldn't take a Memphis kid to Florida State with him. Don't know how true that is. So I don't know. I don't know my opinion on it because I don't know exactly the details of why he wasn't really a focus on. But that also comes down to the kid and why some of these kids are transferring. Maybe because I didn't even look to see where he was from. Like I knew who you're talking about. I don't remember his name. Can't remember where he was from. But I know he was big. He was like 6'7" or something like that. I don't know. I guess you got to kind of look at it. What was his reasoning for hitting the portal in the first place? I mean, obviously, you look at the trend that FSU's going for. They're bringing all the Florida kids back home, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of these Florida kids are coming home. I mean, they want to come back home. I mean, a lot of these kids who went to Kansas and Illinois and South Carolina, a lot of these kids grew up fans of Florida State. And, for whatever reason, we whiffed on them. We didn't think they were good enough. We let them go, and now they're coming back. So now they're coming back. Love Taylor was fine he was fine. Definitely better than Washington. I give you that 100%. He's definitely better than Washington. It's not that I don't think he's a good tackle. I think he's better at guard, and I think if we didn't get to see Love Taylor against a Clemson, I mean, the whole offensive line struggled against the best defensive line we played, and that was Pitt. I think Love Taylor really benefits better from being moved inside and getting a legit tackle. It's not that I don't think he's not a legit tackle. I don't know if he's a big boy left tackle. when you start talking about playing the big boys, if FSU is going to be where we want them to be, Love Taylor can't be your starting left tackle. That's just me. Who's your starting 11 on D pre-spring? Let's try this off the top of the dome ski, right? Let's go defensive ends. Obviously, the Georgia transfer. What, Jermaine Thomas, right? That's his name? Or Jermaine Johnson, whatever his name is. You guys know who I mean. These names just I lose track of some of these names. Obviously him. Then I'll say your 2D tackles are going to be Lovett and I don't know who they put beside Fabian Lovett. That's going to be a big question. Maybe Briggs. I think Briggs makes more sense. I think it's either going to be Lovett and Briggs or Cooper and Briggs, but it makes more sense to have. It doesn't make sense to have Cooper and Lovett in when they both are more of that nose tackle type. I'll go Cooper and Briggs at my tackles. And at the other end spot, it could be Kier. I mean, we just picked him up. It could definitely be him. And at the other end spot, another end spot for me is really up for grabs. Until we pick up a guy in the portal, I don't know. I don't know who we will put at that other end spot. Because I think the plan is to stand Amari Gaynor up this year. I think the plan is for Amari Gaynor to play more traditional linebacker. Hello. I think that's the plan. So that other end spot's really gonna, I don't know. As of right now, until we take another portal guy, as of right now, I'll give it to McClendon. I'll say McClendon fill the other end spot. I think your backers, let's assume we're running this 4-2-5. I think your starting backers will probably be, well, you know what? They'll probably put Gaynor at the other end spot. See, this is the real problem I have with trying to predict what Adam Fuller and what kind of defense he's even trying to run. I'm going to say my starting 11 is going to be Jermaine Johnson, Kier, Cooper, Gaynor, as far as the front four may go. And I'm not even confident putting Gaynor in there. But I feel like their linebackers are going to want to be Emmett Rice and Steven Dix. And then your secondary is going to consist of the Arkansas transfer. I don't know who at the other corner. As of right now, I'll say the other corner I'll give to Dent. I'll give safety. I'm saying I think they're going to move Jerry and Jones to free safety. Play Jamie Johnson at the strong safety and put Travis J as sort of that star nickelback type. That would be my starting 11. Now, what I could see, and the only thing I could see is moving Gaynor back to linebacker, putting Steven Dix as a rotation, putting Gaynor and Emmett Rice as your two backers, and putting a more traditional defensive end. So that's kind of the way I look at that. Why would Norvell say that? Mess up his current job. Yeah, I agree. Did anybody land that big Michigan State offensive lineman in the portal? I haven't even looked him up. The O-line is set up to be where they need to be in 2022. Orr and Scott on the outside, Lucas and Schrader and Washington at center. I don't think Orr's going to play off the jump, so I don't see that. There's no way Love Taylor's not in the starting 22. Now, you did say 2022. So obviously that's not this upcoming season. So yeah, in 2022, yeah, you will have probably Orr, Scott. Lucas would be a senior. Maurice Smith. I probably would keep Maurice Smith at center. I don't know if Washington's better than Maurice Smith. I would move Washington in at guard with him and Schrader. And who knows, maybe a guy like Ira Henry. A guy like Lloyd Willis, who I really like Lloyd Willis's measurables. A guy like him, man, if he can develop, I think FSU might have a gym. Might have a gym in Lloyd Willis if he develops. That dude's 6'7", 300 plus. He looks like a left tackle if you've seen pictures of him. The question is, can he play? Can they get some playing out of him? And a guy like Ira Henry is another guy who I don't know if we can sleep on. More development. There's some names that maybe can emerge on that offensive line. I have faith Atkins is going to get the most out of these guys. Brownlee at corner. I forgot all about Brownlee, man. Brownlee and Ronaldo Green. We're deep. We're deep at defensive back. You still got Demore Tate. I don't know if Demore Tate's going to start day one. You still got, assuming we still have Miko Dotson. You're absolutely right. There's a bunch of names. Brownlee, Ronaldo Green, a lot of guys. I feel like Brownlee is best in the slot position. But yeah. I was really hoping Demore Tate's ready to start at cornerback because I believe in Jones. I don't believe in Jones, Dent, the Arkansas transfer, or maybe even Dotson. Smith, my bad. We are going to need a strong O-line to protect Milton. Where's your mom? Where's your mom? Oh. We're going to need a strong O-line to protect Milton. If he has time to throw, he can be deadly. What up? I like Sidney Williams at safety. Look, they're going to rotate a lot of guys. There's no way everybody can start, Yeah, not Sidney Williams. I didn't even mention Green McKnight. There's a bunch of names, man. Again, I didn't mention Ronaldo Green or Jarvis Brownlee, so I get it. There's a lot of names. I didn't mention any of the three freshmen we brought in, and Omarion Cooper, and none of these guys. Kevin Knowles and the other guy was Hunter Washington, right? Man, they got a lot of DBs, man. A lot of DBs. Can this wide receiver? That's the question. That's the question you need to ask. Look, let's see if the Bears can do anything on offense. Don't look like it. Trubisky's trash. But hell, I didn't even mention Brendan Gant. You see what I'm saying? Didn't mention Brendan Gant at all. We can keep naming guys. I'm forgetting guys. They are deep at defensive back, man. Again, and it's like Green Bay said, that's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. That's why Fuller has no excuses. I don't want to hear you don't have the players. I don't want to hear that these aren't his guys. Figure it out. You got enough talent back there to figure it out. Put the best guys on there. And not only do you have enough talent to put the best guys out there, you got enough talent that when you rotate, when guys have to catch a breather, if someone gets injured, that the next guy up should be just as good, if not maybe better. Fuller's got no excuse. But like Kevin Smith, the wide receiver on offense, that's the number one question for me is the wide receiving group. I keep preaching this. I got no problem, or I have all the faith in the world with Atkins. I think that offensive line is going to be better with or without the transfer offensive tackle. From a number standpoint, you need them. But even without them, I think that offensive line is going to be better, man. I think that offensive line is going to be better just from normal maturation, growth, weight room, all of that. Offensive line is going to take a step. Quarterback's going to take a step just because of the caliber of the guy that you brought in. Running back room is going to take a step just because of the guy you brought in, not to mention Toafili, who I believe is your future superstar. 1 year better, 1 year bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. Tight end room got a huge influx of talent in this offseason. It's that wide receiver room that's the huge question. Keyshawn Helton without the brace should be a huge plus. He was not the same this year. I said the same thing about LeBourne. I hate seeing skill position players play with, and I understand why they have the knee brace on. You suffer a knee injury. I get it. I hate seeing skill position players with a knee brace on because they cannot make those cuts. They cannot make those moves that make them special. I'm going to be very interested to see if Keyshawn Helton's going to play without the knee brace this year. That's going to be huge. Ontario Wilson is a solid receiver, but he can't be your number one. We got to find someone on the opposite side of Parchment who I believe can be a number one. I think Helton and Ontario Wilson can do most of their damage in the slot. But who's going to be that other guy? Is it going to be a Brian Robinson? Is Portier going to take another step? Who's the other guy? Williamson. Is he going to be in the mix? Oh, and if they get Dustin Hill, to me, day one, he's the most talented wide receiver. He might not be the most ready to play, even though I think he's going to play game one. Dustin Hill by far is going to be the most talented wide receiver in that room, even with the addition of Andrew Parchment. Dustin Hill is going to be the number one receiver in that room. He'll play right alongside Parchment. But that wide receiver room has a ton of questions. Helton can be a nice weapon. Good QBs make wide receivers better. I agree there. If Milton wins the QB job, what happens with Travis? I would love to see Travis as a slot runner, like Ohio State David Braxton. I believe, Robert, that I expect Milton to win it, but there's no way you can just let Jordan Travis rot away on the bench. You got to figure out a way to get him in the game. I'm not a fan of moving him to receiver, but if you can bring him in motion, just find ways to get him the ball. Use him. You got him. Use him. You know he's dynamic with his legs. He make guys miss. You got to use him. If that means you package 10, 12 plays a game for him where he's taking snaps and doing the read option and the occasional hit the defense over the top, because everybody's going to think when Jordan Travis gets in the game is a run. He can throw the ball well enough where you can hit the defense over the top. You can design plays where you get Milton and Travis on the field at the same time and surprise the defense. And Jordan Travis maybe can hit. You got to use them. You be creative, find a way to use them. They can't just let him sit on the bench. I agree 100% there. Fuller has to be put on notice with all these DBs he has. No excuse. He's supposed to be a DB coach too, Kevin. Crazy thing, right? He's supposed to be a DB coach. And Auburn DN just entered the portal. See? Every day. Did Laborn and I don't know. Anybody have any answer to that? I don't know if Kalen Laborn landed anywhere or not. Hill with Parchment is lethal with Helton in the slot. I absolutely agree. Young should be the guy. I didn't even mention Jordan Young. Again, another guy with some talent, some potential. Who's going to step up? Who's going to step up in that wide receiver room? That was my problem last year. When Tamarion Terry went down, nobody wanted to step up and take the reins and make it their wide receiver room. I get Keyshawn Helton was playing on one leg, but you know what? That leg ain't had nothing to do with some of the drops that he had. Same thing with Ontario Wilson, had some drops. Everybody was dropping balls last year. Who's going to be the guy to pick it up? Who's going to be the guy to step their game up? What kind of leadership does Parchment bring to the room where he makes these guys step their game up? A lot of questions are going to need to be answered in that wide receiver room next year. D-line room will make the O-line better. Who's that really fast wide receiver who ran track and field that didn't play last year? I don't know who you're talking about, Jay. We didn't have a guy like that. Unless you're talking about Corey Wren, who's a running back, who I'm pretty sure they will use at some receiver in the future. Other than that, I don't know who you're talking about. Auburn DN been followed by Fuller, and he just followed 2 recent transfers. Oh, hell. Here we go. Here we go. Laborn wants to be a null. It would be cool if Kalen came back. Travis the same way the Saints deploy Taysom Hill. Corey Wren. Yeah, okay. So he's talking about Wren. Okay. He's talking about Wren. Okay. Now I'm going to check my Twitter and see who's this defensive end you guys keep hollering about. And just a heads up, some of these transfer guys are already in Tallahassee. Jamie, as of 32 minutes ago, posted a picture of him in Doak Campbell Stadium. So these kids are already in Tallahassee, ready to go to work. You love to see it. Love to see it. Now I'm trying to find this Auburn DN that everybody's clamoring about. South. Nope, that's not it. I don't see it. I'm pretty sure I'll eventually come across it, but I don't see it as of right now. I'm back, fellas. Damn sports bookies kicking my ass. What up, POLK? 90 people in here jumping tonight. We had as much as 100 in here, but by all means, hit that like button, man. We in here. FSU fans are excited. The portal killer is in live effect. All right. Saints are driving 7-3. 7-3 Saints. But the portal killer, Mike Norvell, is in full effect, man. People are excited. So they are in here tuned in. So, Gusami, the largest crowd I've had was after that Georgia Tech game. I had I had as many as I believe, like over like 150 in here. But that's because I was yelling and cussing and all of that crap. Put Travis at tight end. No. Win expectations next year, man. I'm telling you, man, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that comes out here and tells you FSU's a 10-win team next year. But I'm really thinking I gotta see. I'm so what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I'm so reserved, or I don't want to pull the trigger on a win total just yet, Kevin. I got to see how they finish out. Do we get Destin Hill? Do we get Tywone Malone? Do we get, another defensive end in the portal? Do we get this offensive tackle, whoever he may be? Do we land him? Those things is what I'm waiting to see. And by the way, Adam Fuller still coaches this defense. And as long as he's coaching this defense, man, I don't know how much faith I really have in it. As long as Adam Fuller still coaches this defense, I don't know how much optimism I have. At a minimum, they have to win 7 games. Mackenzie Milton did not come here to go 5 or 6 wins. At a minimum, you have to win 7 with a chance to get 8 in the bowl game. I think that's at a minimum. And I think you can call that a successful season. But if that defense can show a pulse next year, just show a pulse. Just make the occasional 3-and-out stop. You might have a 8-9 win team legit next year. Like, and who knows? Like, the off season's always beautiful because it's always the time to be so optimistic. But I'm just looking at the pieces on the field, and I like what I have. I think they've upgraded damn near every position on the entire football team. And somebody tell me I'm wrong. The only position they didn't upgrade because they didn't touch was the linebacker position. Does Shaheem Brown, does Eubanks, do those guys contribute somewhat in the linebacker room next year? We'll see. You did lose Marvin Wilson, so I can't necessarily say the defensive tackle room has been upgraded, but I don't think it's taken that big of a dip, to be quite honest with you. I think it's addition by subtraction when you talk about Corey Durden. So to me, that alone brings the room up. Man, just somebody bring me back down to earth and tell me that I'm wrong and that I should be more, like Chris Miller said, cautiously optimistic. Somebody bring me back down to earth. But I'm really like, if damn it, if you're a coach worth any amount of weight, damn it, you should be able to coach the talent that's on this team to 7-8 wins. I'll put it like that. Go Noles. Langston said we'll probably go oversign some. EE will count to the 2022. Makes sense. 10 wins next year. Let's go. See, Deshaun's on that BS. I don't know. I can't say it. I want to say it, but I don't know if I can say it. I just tagged you with the Twitter. All right, I got you. Hesitant, yeah, whatever word I was looking for. Cautiously optimistic. There you go. All of that stuff. Spring practice is going to be pivotal in the success of the season. Notre Dame game at home to start. We will get Hill. I believe we got Malone. Fuller needs to be gone like last month. I think we will get Hill too. Malone, I don't know. He's still taking that A&M visit. I don't know. I know he had a good time this weekend, but that Taiwan Malone fight's gonna be real. If we get that Auburn D in, that would be ridiculous. Exactly. Fuller coaching the defense. Do we beat any of the rivals? NC State, who I don't consider a rival. Clemson, I don't consider them a rival. I know they think we're rivals, but we're not. Mainly, you just want to know about, in my opinion, it's just about Florida and Miami. Definitely think Miami's extremely beatable next year. I don't think Miami's really been anything great, but we've been so bad it's hard to say anything, right? Now Miami's definitely beatable. I have no idea. First of all, I don't know when I don't know when that game's going to be played because the ACC schedule hasn't been released. So I don't know. Do we play them early or late? If we play them early and they don't have King, that's a huge question in my opinion. Perry already transferred out of there. They don't have N'Kosi Perry. They don't have King. Who knows? We don't even know who their quarterback is going to be, right? That's probably question number one. Florida is another team now. Traditionally, Florida's always the last game of the year, so we know that's a late game. You would expect them to have a quarterback situation figured out by then, but from what they have on the roster now, I'm not scared of anything that Florida has at the quarterback position right now. I don't think Emory Jones is the goods. I think Anthony Richardson may be good. I don't know if he's going to be good next year, but I see some talent there, but it may be a while before it's able to blossom. There's rumors Perry may go to Florida. Good luck there. He would definitely be the starter in my opinion. I think both of those games are winnable next year for sure. Now, Clemson's still going to be a long shot, right? But they're losing Trevor Lawrence and they're losing ETN, and let's see how they adjust. Now, Clemson's a program at this particular point in time. The saying, they don't, rebuild, they just reload. So we'll see how they reload. And we'll see if some of those 5 stars may end up being some blanks in the chamber, and maybe FSU can make up some ground where maybe people don't think that we can. So a lot of questions. I mean, you put Notre Dame on here. That's another team. Entire offensive line they have to replace, and they have to find a quarterback. These are some winnable games next year, man. Got to go out there and put something on the field. And even if you can't win some of these games, there's no reason you go lose 52-10, 48-7. We should be in every single game next year, period, point blank. Fuller's defense is based on personnel, and he didn't have any of – that's what I keep hearing, Ben, that he didn't have any of his type of guys. That's what I keep hearing, Ben. By the way, my first time seeing you, Ben, hit the like button, comment. Well, you already commented, but hit the like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. That's been the excuse I've been hearing for Fuller all year. He doesn't have his type of guys. Apparently, Amari Gaynor, being one of the most talented defenders in probably the country, isn't one of his type of guys. And Marvin Wilson, who's considered before the season the best defensive tackle in the country, wasn't his type of guy. And Asante Samuel, who's going to be a late to second round pick in the NFL, wasn't his type of guy. Well, damn it, you got all of those guys are gone. You're bringing in all these guys that shouldn't be your type of guys. Adam Fuller's got no excuses. That's been the main excuse I've heard for Adam Fuller, is he doesn't have his guys. So what's good? He has no excuses then next year. No excuses. O-line going to be better? I believe so. No less than 8 wins. Go Noles. Johnson is a linebacker. Man, that dude is a defensive end. I know they list him as an outside linebacker. The dude's 6'5", 250. He's going to be playing defensive end at Florida State. He's going to be rushing the passer. That's what they're going to use him as. Need pressure up front. Owen Carney to FSU. Count on it. You heard it here first from me. He was Miami Center. Talked about him already, Tim, if you didn't hear. He tweeted that he tweeted to Kier Thomas, who just committed yesterday, South Carolina transfer, defensive lineman. He tweeted to him, I will see you down there. After Kier Thomas posted his announcement on Twitter, Carney tweeted to him, see you there. So I don't know if we're necessarily hearing it from you first, but he said he will see you there. That's a big time, another big time get if you get that defensive end. The Auburn DN that everybody's talking about. I mean, if I guess you got to ask who do they value more? Do they value him? So we got Big Cat Bryant. Okay, so this is the guy everybody's talking about. Where's he from? Anybody know where he's originally from? What's his real first name? Because it's obviously not Big Cat. What's his name? If he's from Florida, FSU might be in the running for this guy. I don't know if he's from Florida or not. So that's going to be the big question. I know Owen Carney is from Miami and wants to come home. Can't bring you back down. No offensive tackle, and Fuller is the DC. That'll bring me back down until we get that offensive tackle. And yeah, every time I think of Fuller, that definitely brings me back down to earth. Between 7 and 9 as of right now. Agreed. But look at his previous teams. Big CBs and fast safeties. Yeah, but his previous are we talking Memphis where they gave up a ton of points at Memphis too? Because if you go behind that, he was coaching at all right. Let's do it. Because I've done this before. But we're gonna go over Adam Fuller's damn resume. Damn resume is Memphis, Marshall, Chattanooga, Assumption, Wagner, and Richmond. And WPI, which I don't even know what that is. So you mean to tell me at Chattanooga and Marshall and Richmond, he was having big corners and fast safeties? Like, what is his personnel? He came to Florida State where he had more talent at Florida State than he had at any previous school he's ever coached at. Period. You find a way to make that work. Well, he's got big corners and fast safeties now, I guess. So we'll see what he does. Do you think Odell will be with us at the beginning of next year for sure? Owen Carney at FSU guaranteed. You heard it first. Clemson has orange. They are a rival. Got it. I don't consider them a rival, but I got you. The Auburn DN that's transferring is at Big Cat. Yeah, I just looked him up. What's his first name, though? Where is he from? Florida's going to be ass. I'm related to Anthony Richardson. He good, but not a Trevor Lawrence type good. That's the kid from Gainesville. Bro, as long as Fuller is DC, we'll be fighting. Got you. Probably with that argument is Fuller gave up lots of points and yards at Memphis. I need to see his type of guys because if you can't win with that talent, good luck. They've had no pass rush the last 3 years. With the new guys, the defense should be a lot better. The pass rush should definitely improve. I do think that helps a ton. What's up, Big Kane? If Fuller is fired mid-year, who is the staff is most likely to get the most out of the deep? Ooh, That's an interesting question. If Fuller was to be fired mid-year, who would you give the reins to on defense? Good defense by Lattimore right there. I don't know. I guess it would probably be between Coach Woodson or Woodson or Coach Marv. I guess that's who you would give the reins to until they could find another defensive coordinator. If we don't pick up a quality left tackle, do you think we'll see some of the underclassmen like Zane? I think I talked about Lloyd Willis, man. I have nothing to go off here as far as tape. Just size, length, what he brings to the table as far as Lloyd Willis looks like a tackle. That'd be a guy to look out for. I mean, they still have Chaz Neal. I don't know if Chaz Neal is going to make his impact felt. He's another long kid. If you don't get another left tackle, I think they definitely going to have to coach somebody up. But I say Lloyd Willis because by the end of the year last year, when FSU was releasing their depth charts, Lloyd Willis was cracking the 2 deep. So he was showing, I don't know if he was showing them something or if it was just the fact that they didn't have the numbers maybe, and by default Lloyd Willis was breaking the 2 deep, huh? Go get juice. Go tell Dre to get you juice. Maybe it was just attrition, the lack of numbers on the offensive line, but I mean Lloyd Willis might be a name I think that we should look out for. I hear a lot of people argue that Fuller didn't have his guys, but he gave up lots of yards and points at Memphis. I've been saying that. He doesn't have his guys, but his resume says he gave up a bunch of points at Memphis, and then you can't tell me he had his perfect guys at Assumption and Marshall. I'm pretty sure he had more talent here than he ever had at Assumption or Marshall. So I don't want to hear about him not having his guys. Big Cat is from GA. Okay. So GA, I don't know if that's, if he was from Florida, I'd give it a great shot. Don't know if I don't know. We'll see. Owen Carney might be the guy. He might be more so the guy than this Auburn kid. But if they're interested in him, they should, Fuller's defense wasn't shut down at Memphis. He was at Marshall before Memphis. Fuller is still better than Kelly. I cannot agree with that. I haven't seen nothing from Fuller that I will take Charles Kelly right now over Adam Fuller. I don't rock with that one. Fuller can't coach defense. We saw 9 games of evidence. There you go. Daquan Newkirk from Orlando. Chattanooga is 5 minutes away from my hometown. Hey, POLK, his name is literally Big Cat. Like, his first name is Big Cat. Are we? No, I thought it was like a nickname. His first name is Big Cat? Okay, well. Shout out to his parents. I'm sorry. I don't know why my messages show twice. It's all good. It's all good, Tim. Miami and Florida are FSU's only rival. Thank you, No Blooded. What up, Lorenzo? Haven't seen you in a minute, man. Good to see you. Coach JP, he was Nebraska DC when they had Sue, I believe. Odell. Maybe you could get JP or Odell, I guess. Just hopped in the stream. I'm concerned that Norvell is not landing a transfer offensive tackle who can start without one of the offense. We won't see much improvement. All right, so let's talk about that right now. I've talked about it a little bit, but since you knew, we're going to hop in it. You're right about being a little bit concerned about landing an offensive tackle. I think an offensive tackle will put this thing over the top, and then, bam, you move Love Taylor inside. You got a legit offensive tackle right there. You might be cooking with Friskies, right? What I will tell you is don't be too concerned. The portal is not going to be a spark or a flash in the pan, so to speak. This portal is going to last all summer. The portal, just today, everybody's been talking about the defensive end out of Auburn who just hit the portal 30 minutes ago or an hour ago. Every day, somebody hits the portal. A lot of times, it's some big-time players that are hitting the portal. They're not. I believe they're going to save one spot for a tackle, and that tackle can pop between January, March, June, July. So you have the right to be concerned. I would not be concerned at any point, man. At any point, you could get this offensive tackle because guys are literally hitting the transfer portal every single day. The portal right now is at a spot where I think the NCAA may look into it. Now, I don't think they're gonna let schools take more than they're allowed. But the NCAA is at a point right now where they're going to have to do something because there are more kids in the portal right now than there are spots. So I don't know if that means you give these programs more scholarships to use. I don't know how you adjust to that or how you fix that. But right now there are more kids in the portal than there are teams that have scholarships available for these kids. It's going to be very tricky. I wouldn't worry too much. The front four can get the pressure, then the secondary will be much improved. Marv, looks like we have to be third times the charm Bucks. Shout out to the Bucks. We got SEC money now. I'm hesitant on saying our DBs were trash. I mean, they were having to cover for like 20 seconds. Absolutely true. Maybe they didn't rush or get an old lineman in the transfer because the quality improved. They're looking for bona fide starters, not a body. Fuller is one of those coaches who doesn't know how to adapt to the talent. Our offensive staff adapted to the talent. Thank you. That's why I've always been way more optimistic offensively than defensively. It's not that the offense was great last year. This is a perfect comment. The offense was not great by any measure last year. But it was obvious that they wanted to run a certain type of offense. When they realized James Blackman was damaged goods, Chubba Purdy wasn't going to be ready year one, and Tate Rodemaker was a deer in the headlights, they said our best options in Jordan Travis. They adapted the offense to fit what he did well. Did it result in wins? Not necessarily, but it resulted in 3 more wins than we might have had without him. They were able to at least be effective, run the ball effectively. They made adjustments offensively to say, okay, I'm optimistic here about what they're able to accomplish. Defensively, you can't tell me with all the talent he had on defense, he couldn't figure something out. If that doesn't give you come on. That's the biggest clue that he's not a very good coach. You can make the excuse about having your guys all you want. I did a show earlier in the year that showed how many 4 and 5 stars was on that defense last year. And I have it written down here somewhere. I'm not going to find it. But I think as a total on the defensive side alone, we had enough 4 and 5 stars to fit 2 defenses. It was like 20 to 22 4 and 5 stars on defense. And you're telling me that those aren't his guys. I don't want to hear it. Auburn DN is Markevius Bryant Cordell. So his real name isn't Big Cat. Okay. Got it. Markevius Bryant, and he's out of Georgia. Got it. Thank you. I don't see how you see what happened this weekend and come away concerned. I'm not concerned considering the O-line improvement and Coach Atkins. Oh, LOL. I just looked him up, Auburn recruiting class, and it says Big Cat. Let's go. Woodson and Marr have issues with Fuller. Woodson feels he's incompetent. Dwayne, if that is true, if Woodson and Marr feel that Fuller is incompetent, now I'm a completely I'm gonna sit up for this because that I don't know how true that is. This is actually my first time hearing that. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just going to talk about what you specifically said here. Woodson and Marv have issues with Fuller. Woodson feels he's incompetent. If that is true, and Mike Norvell hasn't fired that man yet, it's one of 2 things. Mike Norvell's in the buddy system, and that's not going to succeed, and Mike Norvell's going to be out of a job sooner than he thinks. If you have defensive people on your staff that feel like the head man is incompetent. And he's still the head coach. Not only do they feel he's incompetent, the results on the field say he's incompetent. And Mike Norvell doesn't fire that guy? Huh. Well, that just says everything that needs to be said right there, Mike Norvell. You're delusional. I don't think that's the case. What I think is the case, if that's true, what I think is the case is admin won't let Norvell make the moves necessary. And until Florida State's administration gets their heads out of their ass, guys, we're not going to be where we want to or need to be. And let's hope that changes with the new athletic director and the new president that should be here soon. We do know that's coming soon. Don't know exactly when, but we know that's coming soon. And hopefully that changes everything. But until then, if the administration isn't allowing him to fire Fuller, because I also, to your point, I heard after the Louisville game, Mike Norvell wanted to get rid of Adam Fuller. I heard that. There were rumors that after the Louisville game, Mike Norvell was done with Adam Fuller. That tells me that the administration, athletic department isn't allowing that to happen. And until FSU is ready to play big boy football, they're not going to win any big boy football games. That's the type of stuff I would be worried about. I'm not worried about these players. You see, they can get players in and out of the program when they need to. But if you're having dissension in your coaching, where the coaches aren't even on the same page, and one being the head man on defense, your defensive coordinator, that has to be addressed. That has to be addressed. I totally agree. Love Taylor will be a great move to guard with the addition of a bona fide tackle through the portal. Absolutely. Go Bucks. Cam Akers balled out. Did y'all see Cam Akers, man? He was all of the offense for the Rams yesterday. Shout out to them. Florida State is running back you, baby. Told Philly's the next one. I remember that show. You counted 21 blue chips on defense. There you go. 21. But Adam Fuller don't got his guys, though. No pass rush. Did James Blackman find a landing spot? He has not found a landing spot yet. My issue with Fuller start with playing off coverage on 4th and 1. He made Bailey Hopman look like an All-American. Absolutely. If that's true, then let's get him the F out of here. Mr. Polk, the job is too big for Fuller. That's why I'm not sure about 6-win next year. If you're reserved, I completely understand it and get it. I don't think Fuller belongs here either. And I think Fuller's going to, defense alone is going to easily, even if the offense averages 40 points a game, that defense is going to cost you at least 2 games. So what could have been an 8-win team may very well end up a 6-win team. So you're not far off, no-blooded. I'm there with you. I'm trying to be optimistic. And I'm trying to listen to these people who I think are legit Seminole fans, who are trying to just be optimistic. And I'm trying to listen to them. And when they say Fuller just needs his guys, I'm saying, okay, Fuller just needs his guys. Well, we're going to see next year because Fuller's got his guys. All these transfer portal defensive players, I'm pretty sure Fuller handpicked these guys or definitely has an input on these guys. That's a hot take on Woodson and Marr. Very hot take. Again, first time I'm hearing about it, but those were my thoughts on that. Heard Jeremy might not be at Tennessee in 21-1. Need to bring him in right away. Jeremy ain't coming back to Tallahassee. Big Cat Bryant from Auburn in the transfer portal. All right, 14-3, the Saints. It's very true. If you're on War Chant, you know me. And it's Coburn, not Norvell, that has him as a DC. Well, there you go. There you go. And again, until Corbin is out of here and we get a real AD, and I'm not going to say a real Thrasher's been a solid president. It's just time for him to move on. We get the new president and we get a real athletic director, which Corbin is not a real athletic director. And if nobody around Corbin can't see that keeping Adam Fuller is a problem, somebody has to get their heads out of their ass and get that guy out of here. But yeah, like I said, I heard after Louisville, Norvell wanted to be done with Fuller. So we'll see, man. Corbin has him at DC back with the shenanigans. Cam is carving out a career with the Rams. He's looking good. No way Pruitt's wife will let him back in tally. What's happening? What's up, Scott? I responded before I listened to the whole thing. Norvell seems like the guy that will let a coach go, not like Jimbo did with Kelly. Mike and Fuller are great friends. It has nothing to do with the athletic director. So, real talk with Mr. A. Ford has a different take than Mr. Joanne. Joanne. Me personally, I agree more with you, Joanne. I feel like Fuller would fire him if he was being allowed to. That's just my opinion. From a Clemson fan, I hope y'all can get back to a elite level. From Andy Nickus. First time he's seen you here, Andy. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel by all means. I feel so bad for Cam because he had to go through all hell at FSU. Man, stop. I hate people saying that. Don't feel bad for Cam. He chose Florida State. Florida State, we weren't that good. But guess what? Cam was the focal point at Florida State. Got drafted, made the NFL. At the end of the day, he's a millionaire. What are we feeling bad for Cam Akers for? How did we miss on Tykees Crawford with Colt Actions connectors at Charlotte? We should have had been in the lead from day one. Something about him wanting to be closer to home in Arkansas. And plus, while yes, Atkins did coach in Charlotte, Atkins didn't coach him in Charlotte from what I was told. That those two personally did not have a relationship. Adam Fuller this year, Charlie Strong next. Cam and Travis would be really fun to watch together. Kendall Browse wasn't allowed to play Jordan Travis last year, if you don't know. Fuller can have his guys just go to Marshall. Go back to assumption, absolutely. Let's talk hypotheticals. Say Pruitt did come back. What's our record looking like? If he came back to coach defense. That's an amazing question. I don't know. I don't know what our record looks like. If you fire Fuller, you got to go. You got to try and keep Woodson on. Yeah. But if that rumor is true, I mean, that would be, first of all, that we're going to assume Mike Norvell has the power here, or he's going to eventually be given the power. You can fire Fuller and keep the rest of your staff. If Mike Woodson doesn't like Adam Fuller, and it's being reported already, that's already risking everything with Travis Hunter right now. Because what's to stop Mike Woodson from going to another program and taking Travis Hunter with him? If that rumor is true, if Mike Woodson thinks that that Fuller is incompetent, what's stopping Mike Woodson from leaving right now? My only guess is that they've had a conversation and Norvell has assured him, once we get a chance, Fuller is gone. And I'm going to keep you here. That's all about what the coach wants to do. The head football coach. You can fire a defensive coordinator and keep the rest of the staff intact. I heard after Miami game that the boosters wanted him gone. They had the money for the replacement. Hopefully, DeMaurice Tate will be a real deal. Big Cat asking for an edit already. He was all SEC. Corbin pushed for him to stay. He's an accountant, so he doesn't understand. All he cares about is the money aspect of it. Yeah. If the boosters really want to put their money where their mouth is, Fuller would be gone. Plus, Crawford was previously committed to Arkansas. The narrative around Crawford is we didn't think he was a guaranteed starter. I don't know about that. I mean, even if he's not a guaranteed starter, he was young enough that you would have had 2 or 3 years with him, 6, 7, whatever he was. I mean, it was essentially taking another high school kid. I think you should have took him if you could. But the portal killer, I like that. Listen, I know what I'm talking about. He wasn't all that great at the University of Memphis. Mike and Fuller are friends. That will be his downfall if he doesn't do something soon. I mean, you say you know what you're talking about, then you know what you're talking about. But guess what? Joanne say he know what he's talking about. So when are y'all lying? When are y'all lying? Everybody knows Adam Fuller wasn't that great at Memphis. Wasn't that great at Marshall. We can go back at his whole resume like we've already done and tell you Adam Fuller ain't been great. So there's no denying that. All I'm saying is one of y'all lying then if that's the case. Me personally, I believe that it's the administration that's not allowing these coaching moves to take place. That's my personal opinion. Let's be real. Mike or Fuller are proven and shouldn't be here. FSU's need a top-notch coach, top players for top recruits. This is FSU. They saved enough money out of the recruiting budget to assist financially to get rid of Fuller. We need to bring Kevin Steele back for defensive coordinator. Let me go back to this one. Mike or Fuller are proven and shouldn't be here. Fuller definitely shouldn't be here. Norvell, you can definitely make the case for Norvell too. I said it. I felt like with Norvell, not that he's a bad coach, but there's no reason why you pay $20 million to get rid of Taggart to bring in another Taggart. Essentially what you did. Now, I think from there, I think you can see the vast differences in Willie Taggart and Mike Norvell from the way they approach, the way they, just the way the offseason is gone. Both off seasons under Mike Norvell, I think, have been a success. The way they have approached recruiting with not only a plan, but a backup plan in case certain things fall through. That type of stuff, definitely a more organized program under Mike Norvell, in my humble opinion. With that said, it made no sense to fire, because Willie Taggart was essentially a group of five coach. He coached 1 year at Oregon, and Oregon wasn't that great under his watch. Why fire a group of five coach for $20 million just to bring in another group of five coach from Memphis? It didn't make sense. If you're going to fire Willie, you should have fired him for big time, proven Power 5 coach with Florida tie, something like that. Something like that. That's where they made their mistake. But now we have Norvell, and we got to figure it out. Okay? There's things that Norvell's doing that I like. He was put in one of the most awkward situations of any head football coach, not trying to necessarily make excuses for him. Not only did the pandemic hit for him, FSU's in this transition with the athletic director and the president to the point where, yeah, to me, it sounds like Corbin is the guy who, while he's filling the spot, doesn't want to make a move. I don't know. Like, he doesn't want to, again, he's an accountant. Every move that he has made to me seems to be financial, not winning games, but try to save the university money. The university is going to make that money back regardless. They might, first of all, the university's not broke. So we're not even going to, that narrative that FSU doesn't have any money is ridiculous. We just pay $1.5 million to UMass to get to whoop on UMass next year. We paid that school $1.5 million to come to Tallahassee. And we've done that before, where we pay schools millions of dollars to come down to Tallahassee and get a whooping. So this notion that FSU's got no money, BS. So Corbin got to get his head out of his ass. Or better yet, we just need to get rid of him and get this thing turned around. I agree 100%, William. Put the big boy pants on and give the man the tools to be great. Period. I feel Norvell shouldn't have been hired. If you look at his first hires, we wouldn't have Woodson or Atkins, who are your best recruiters. So his decision makings worry me. If you look at his first hires, we wouldn't have Woodson or Atkins. I don't. So he did have TJ Rushing at first, who got snatched up by Texas A&M. So again, I don't know how you could say that I don't know how you could say that's a bad thing from the standpoint of, okay, you lose the guy you initially brought in and you may have replaced him with a better coach. So that means he has good decision making. Atkins was his offensive line choice from the jump. So I don't And plus, Atkins isn't even his best recruiter. Woodson and Coach Yak are your best two recruiters, period. And Coach Yak, he got him from Tennessee. So again, I don't necessarily agree with that. They pull all the eggs in the Bob Stoop basket, and it had a hole in it. That's why you should have got the thumbs up from Bob Stoops before you made the fire. For instance, look at what Texas just recently did. They knew they got the go from Sarkeesian, and then they made the fire and had Sarkeesian guaranteed. I don't have a problem with you targeting Bob Stoops, but if Bob Stoops said no, or you didn't know, why rush for the fire? Why not just let Willie Taggart stay the course until Bob Stoops gave you the thumbs up, which obviously Bob Stoops was never going to happen anyway. I believe they went after him. I just don't believe it was ever a real possibility. You are making excuses. This is FSU. Nepotism has killed our program. What excuses am I making? Bro, all of our, like, bro, are you are you just now started watching football? All our Florida players have been going to Clemson. First of all, compared to Ohio State and Alabama, Clemson doesn't have the same amount of Florida players. Actually, stop believing the narrative that everybody tells you, and you can just do your own facts and look it up yourself. Clemson does not have a lot of Florida players. It has some. It does not have a lot. The majority of their players are from South Carolina and North Carolina. And they also have been able to recruit places like Ohio. They're starting to reach out more nationally. Bama is killing Florida. Ohio State has always killed Florida. Bro, programs have been in Florida for the last 20, 30 years. Let's stop the foolishness. This isn't brand new. This isn't something that just started happening. Programs have been stealing kids from Florida for 30 years now. That's nothing to do with anything. Miami hasn't had a lock on South Florida for 30 years. I don't know. Apparently, I'm making excuses. I'm just speaking what's real. I would rather have FSU who gave that to Jackson State instead of UMass. Fuller should have been gone after the season. A lot of good coordinators out there. I agree with that. Atkins is his best coach, period. Do you feel this will be a situation like the B-ball team where they stick with the guy till he wins? FSU was in a unique position with Leonard Hamilton because FSU is not a basketball school, so they had no precedent to fire Leonard Hamilton. Leonard Hamilton was arguably the best. Obviously, you can say that now, but he even at the time when I remember all the rumblings for Hamilton to be fired, he was still probably the best basketball coach FSU's ever had. There was no precedent to fire him. Problem here is FSU is a football school. I made no excuses for Norvell not winning. What are you talking about? Man, I think K. King just came in here to argue. Because we don't win on the field. That's why we don't get the best players. Bro, have you not watched? Are you not watching football? If you don't win, you don't get kids. Like, what are you talking about? I didn't make any excuses for Norvell not winning. I said he has no excuses next year with everything he's brought in. I made no excuses for him this year. It's unacceptable. What are we talking about? Or did you just come in here to pick a fight? You probably just came in here to pick a fight, and I'm ready for the smoke. So let's go. Thank you, William. Yes, they're getting some Florida kids, but Clemson keeps kids from Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina. That's where that's their honey spot, as William put it. When you compare Clemson compare them to FSU, Florida, Miami, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson has less Florida players than all those schools I just named. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. Have you watched FSU the last couple years? Exactly what top players do you want them to get? You say you're just being honest, but what are you being honest about? What are you being? I'm not saying you're lying. I'm asking you. You said I was making excuses for Norvell not winning, which I haven't made any excuses. Um, and then you're talking about how Clemson has all these Florida players, which is actually a lie. It's not true. Now Clemson has recruited Georgia extremely hard. Okay. But the Florida players, most of them actually going to Alabama. And Georgia's taking a nice chunk of those guys too. Talking about UGA. Clemson, not so much. Best day of recruiting in a while, and you are in here complaining. What up, Zoe? How you doing? What up, Joseph Hardaway? And we got New Orleans, man. They're running away with this one. It's 21-3. 21-3. The Saints are over Chicago. This is a 5-year rebuild. Just be patient. Absolutely. I've said that too. 3-4 years. 5 years is like pushing it. Because it goes quicker if they're able to compete. If they're able to compete, boy, Yella, I ain't seen you in here in a minute, bro. What is good with you? I thought you had disappeared on me, Yella. Oh, I just saw this. Got a Cash App donation from Woody Wood thanks for the $10. Salute to you, fam. But yeah, man. Reverend Christian Felt, and the problem started with Jimbo leaving. We gave him his first head coaching job, and he repaid us with what he's done. Let's not give Norvell time. I believe he will right the ship. Dabo is going. 3-year rebuild, 3 to 4, 5 if you don't. Give me a minute, so I'll let you in here. The rebuild is pretty much complete for a person. I mean, I don't think any lies are kind of told right there. Like, from the team never lacked talent. When people say this is a rebuild, the team never lacked talent. And 1 year, Norvell completely flipped the roster. Period. Completely flipped the roster. And now here we are, added all these transfer guys. The question now comes coaching. Dudes are trolling. Definitely not going to be 5-year rebuild. We are FSU. We are losing top players to Clemson in the ACC. Here we go. I don't want to argue, but this has been a dumpster. It's been a dumpster fire for years. All right, cool. Definitely hasn't been great for the last 4 years. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it has been, but you keep bringing up Clemson, and I'm telling you, Bama is the school that has this knee deep in Florida. Ohio State is the school that's knee deep in Florida. Georgia's the school that's knee deep in Florida, not Clemson. But you can keep pushing the Clemson narrative. You probably are. You're probably a Clemson fan. Hold on, let me put the link in here. Zoe want to come in here. Let me put the link in. I'm impressed with the transfers. Really do hope and pray it leads to at least 7 good wins next seasons. That's what I'm saying. You can get to 7 good wins, man. I think recruiting is going to be very. I think recruiting is going to be very. Going to take a very big bump. Dabo's going to get messed up with his mouth. We'll see what Dabo does. Dabo was humbled. Ohio State humbled him. Coaching is key. That's something we've been lacking for some time. Also, we need to get back down here. Definitely need to recruit South Florida. Not going to deny that. Definitely got to get back into South Florida. Let me hold on a second.
Polk County, what's good?
No, what's going on?
I don't have an echo, do I?
Yeah, you do.
I'm trying to switch it. There's two. That's why I hate about doing it on my phone, because it's one or the other. Hold on, let me see. What about now? Do I have echo?
Let me see. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I hear you, but I can hear myself.
Let me switch to the other one. What about now?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I hear
Still
you.
echo?
you.
I still got that. You got a bad echo. Too.
Let me put my headphones on.
All right, I'm gonna mute you.
Annoying the way.
Clemson has 12 total South Florida kids. Not much at all. Thank you. All you have to do is do a quick Google search and look. We picked up some extra eligibility in the portal. Florida players make other states great, but it's been like that for years. That's nothing new. Hold on. So you froze.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I still hear myself too, though.
Hold on. I'm trying to my headphones up.
All right.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Are we still after any JUCOs? No. Everything's portal and just high school kids. 7 wins will be good. Hold on, Zoe. You talking? I can't hear you. Hold on. Okay, say something.
I'm gonna come back in when I get my headphones up then because for some reason it's not allowing me to get rid of the echo. So I'm gonna put my Bluetooth in so I can get rid of the echo.
All right.
So I'm gonna come right back in.
All right. They have one South Florida, the rest Northern Florida. Thanks, Tim. Tim, you at least pump somebody coming in here with some facts. Dude, I'm talking about top players, period, in the Southeast region. But you didn't say Southeast. You said Florida. You specifically said Florida. Now you're saying the Southeast region, which includes Florida, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, all of that. But that's not what you said. I sat here and said Clemson is recruiting South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and those states particularly hard. Now you're changing the narrative to, well, I meant the Southeast region. Come on, dog. Come on. Of course, they're out recruiting us. They're winning more than us. Yes, they're going to out recruit us. I don't know what you're even arguing with, K King. I don't know what the argument is. Yes, they're out recruiting us. North Carolina's out recruiting us. Miami's out recruiting us. Florida's out recruiting us because all those teams are winning more than us. That's how recruiting works. You win, you get kids. FSU's been bad for the last 4 years. We're not recruiting at the same level. What is the argument here? If the argument is we need to recruit better, no lies have been told. Yes, we need to recruit better. This notion that Clemson owns the state of Florida is absolutely false because they don't. They do not. Are they getting elite kids? They're getting some elite kids out of Florida. Bama's getting most of them. That's the team that's recruiting and killing Florida. So again, what's the argument? What are we even talking about here? I'm trying to bring Zoe back in here and see if his mic and his headphones. All right, you hear me?
Is there any echo now?
No, it's good now. Now we sound good.
Yeah. I need to put my headphones on.
What's up with you, man?
I'm good. Just sitting there to see a chat. Feeling your pain. You know what I'm saying? Understanding. I tell people a lot of my Hurricane fans get mad at me because I say it's a brotherly love thing between Florida State and Miami, and it seems that we're going through the same thing at the same time right now. So you know what I'm saying? I figure I can come here and give you my condolences because we going through almost the same thing, just a little bit further ahead.
Y'all just got a new defensive coordinator, I see.
I didn't see that. I know for a fact we got
No, y'all just got
I just got off a live stream with one of the recruits.
He's not the defensive coordinator, the guy y'all just brought in? I thought he was gonna be the new defensive coordinator.
Talking about what's his name from South Carolina?
Yeah.
No, he's defensive back coach.
Oh, he's just defensive back coach. I thought he was gonna be the coordinator. So your Baker's still the D?
Nah, Baker's gonna get demoted. Baker's more likely gonna be demoted, and Manny's going to be calling plays. You know what I'm saying? Like he was in the beginning anyway. Like a lot of the blame went to Baker, but Manny had a lot to do with that, you know. But politics is crazy. Um, but when it comes to Florida State, like I think, like you said, I think Norvell turned the corner this year. I think he turned the corner a little bit this year, and he's doing the same thing Manny's doing. I think the only difference is I don't see the favoritism from Norvell as I see from Manny. So as long as the favoritism don't get there, Florida State will be back. And like you said, I think Clemson might have 4 or 5 players on their roster from the state of Florida.
It's like 12.
Um,
It's like 12.
is it 12?
Which nothing compared to like a Bama
Yeah,
or a
and Bama slowed down. When actually um Jimbo not who was it? Yeah, Jimbo Fisher helped out with that when him and Dabo and Mark Rick and everybody went to St. Thomas Aquinas when they tried to do that little camp that Alabama tried to do. That what kind of camp they called it, where they can come in and
them
it's
satellite camps. They was calling them
satellite
satellite
camps.
camps. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Mark Rick was like, you know what? They allowing y'all to do that, and y'all say any coaches could come. So he invited all the ACC coaches to come, and Bama got pissed off because all the ACC coaches was there. So they stopped that quick, you know. But Florida State, I don't like you said. I don't think Florida State's in a rebuild. I think they're in a retool mode. You know,
The
I don't think
problem
they're in
is,
a
man,
rebuild.
I argue with these guys, and they tell me, well, because we kind of like y'all, like we hate our defensive coordinator, right? And everybody's telling me, well, he needs his type of kids. Well, damn it! Last
What
time I
type of
checked,
kids?
we full of 4 and 5 stars. What type of kids he need?
I'm gonna tell you like this here, man. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I'm gonna be, and I coach football. I played football. You need a yes. You're supposed to build a scheme around the
Around what you
players,
got, right?
not vice versa. A
You don't make
great
a
coach,
yeah. Thank
a
you.
great coach does not have a scheme. A great coach develop a scheme every year. This is why it's only 2 successful coaches in football, and that's Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. Because no matter what, Nick Saban did not want to change that offensive scheme, but the players that he didn't want to change the defensive scheme. He used to run a 4-3 or a 3-4 all the time. He doesn't do that anymore because you can't do that with the field being spread. He gives up more points, but he's been and don't break. Like you're not shutting down offenses. People act like
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
they're still running the wishbone.
yeah.
Like we're still running the wishbone offense, and you pass on third down every time and play
People don't
action.
even they don't even run the I formation no more, let alone the wishbone.
Exactly. That's
Everything's
what I'm.
spread out.
So you can't run a 4-3. You can't put 3 linebackers out there and say I'm a blitz. This is what gets me with Miami players. We want to blitz every play. Well, remember Manny D. Remember Wisconsin still scoring on us. Like this is when Manny was coaching the defense. Like when you play against elite offenses that can spread you out, they're gonna run you out of that 4-3. Um, even Alabama gives up 20 something, almost 30 points a game. Like there's no such thing of a shutdown defense anymore.
Bro, I've been preaching that all year. So you just saying what I've been saying.
It's like the NBA. It's like the NBA. Like you can't, you can't, you can't,
Right.
you can't touch and grab receivers anymore. After 2 yards, used to be 5 yards. Now I think it's 2 yards. They calling a flag on you. The receiver can push off and hand fight, but if the DB do it, you know what I'm saying? It's a pass interference. Um, if you touch the quarterback face mask, if you just touch it on a graze, it's a personal foul, 15-yard penalty. It is hard to play defensive football today. So when people are looking for so many quick fixes and trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to get 3 and out. So that means your offense needs to sustain. And people also don't realize if your offense isn't good, how long do you expect your defense to hold up?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if your defense is on the field the whole game, then I don't see how your defense can hold up. I don't see the big issues with Florida State like everybody else sees. And maybe it's because I see the talent. I keep telling people Florida State had the number 2 or 3 recruiting class for 4 straight years in a row. And this
Oh, I
was
know.
recent.
And
It's
I know. And
recent. This
that was my
2000.
point.
Yeah, this is
16,
15, 16,
17.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah. This recent history.
So
Like, so
this notion that there was no talent on this team and they couldn't get the most out of it is BS.
I could tell Florida State fans here, same thing I tell Miami fans. You can blame, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot don't have to blame themselves. I don't, me personally, I don't think Willie, every Florida State fan disagree with me. I don't think Willie should have been fired after the 1 year or a year and a half. Okay. You don't even get an opportunity to learn your players that way. He did exactly what Manny did. Everybody said Manny wanted him to get rid of the offensive coordinator. Think about it. Willie was the offensive coordinator. He gave the reins up. He hired the guy that I wanted in Kendall Browse.
The problem is, yeah, he hired Browse, but he handcuffed Browse.
Well, I don't know if he handcuffed. I know I wanted Browse.
I know he handcuffed him because he didn't allow Browse to play. The guy that we got playing quarterback now wasn't allowed to play. And it wasn't until Willie got fired that all of a sudden we started seeing Jordan Travis.
But see, I could say the same thing about you look at the last game with N'Kosi Perry. Did that offense look way better in them 2.5 quarters than it did all year?
I mean, I know Miami fans ain't really happy about N'Kosi Perry leaving. So I get it.
Yeah, but they wanted him to leave all year long and
until
the last 2.5 quarters, and they seen that offense. But I got people down there that say that he wanted Perry to start. Last he wanted Perry to start because he felt like his playbook will open up more because of the throws.
That's going to be a problem going forward if Manny don't fix that. You got an offensive coordinator, let that man coach his offense because
exactly
that's what you brought him in there to do.
So, but I think both of our programs are going to be, you know what I'm saying? I think we're both on our way back up. I even have to calm down with the fire coaches all the time. Like, I didn't want Manny fired, but I wanted him disciplined for lack of institutional control on his part because he just made foolish and dumb decisions about favoritism. You can't play players off of favoritism. You have to play players off production. This is why Russo left, and you have players leave. But Florida State, they got talent. They got talent. Like they got. Listen, the 3 most talented teams in the ACC is Clemson, Florida State, and Miami. Still, even with everything they went through, if you look up and down the rosters of every team, name me one that's better. The only one that could come close really is North Carolina, and they've only had 2 top 25 recruiting classes in 7 years.
No, you're not lying.
That's
why I can't sit here and just I can't give these coaches a pass, and everybody always want to blame the players, and I can't do it.
What bugged me out about people who want to blame the players? What bugged me? I just had a recruit on the show just now. You know what I'm saying? I just had Alan Hayes on the show, and I think that show almost had 1,000 views already. And now my chat different because I don't allow you to bash the players, so I curse you out and block you. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow you to bash these kids, man. When coaches get paid to develop these kids. You see what I'm saying? So if you pick the players, if you can't develop the players you pick, then whose fault that is?
Say again?
If you can't develop the players that you pick, then whose fault is that?
Right. No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's why Adam Fuller has no excuse next year because you're telling me, or they was telling me that the players was bad. Okay, well, guess what? FSU had almost 20 players leave via transfers this year. They cleaned that entire roster out, whether you like it or not. That's what they did. But they also have added a lot of kids back from the transfer portal. A lot of these guys are defensive players. Adam Fuller, you're picking your guys. That defense comes out and look like it looked last year. I don't want to hear it.
You know what they're going to say? The fan base is going to say? It was his first year. It ain't his fault. His first year with those players. That's what you already Polk
hell with
County, you
that.
already know what they
Hell
gonna
with that.
say though, Polk.
That hell with
Polk,
that.
am I lying though? Polk, am I
Yeah,
lying though?
you're not lying because I argue with people every time I come on here. But the hell with that. He's not getting that. He's not getting that
You
from
too
me.
much like me. You
The
too
hell with
much
that.
like me. You too much like me, man. I love your energy. Like you don't like you in the military. I don't know what your rank is,
Mhm.
but if you're a first shirt, right? And you have somebody you have a subordinate up under you that continue you have a group of subordinates up under you that continue to mess up, who gonna get in trouble, man?
I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm the NCO.
Exactly.
I'm the one that's gonna get in trouble. But
Exactly. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like you have to understand. I think it's a problem with a lot of these coaches coaching in just some prep schools and we bring in coaches that's not Florida coaches that knows nothing about the tradition
that's the
and the
problem.
history. And I'm about to say this. I'm about to say this. Not enough black coaches coach at Florida schools. And people can get mad at me or not, but when you are not in the trenches with these kids, because if you look at the high schools, there's a lot of black coaches in these high schools,
Yeah.
but in the college level, there's not. So it's a gap in between. It's a cultural gap in between, like how we talk to each other, how we explain ourselves to each other. It takes time just to bridge that gap. But you had guys like Bobby Bowden back in the days who stayed in the hood,
I'm about to
who
say
went
Bobby.
down there.
I'm about to say Bobby Bowden will go to the hood. Not only go to the hood, he'll stay the night at a
Stay the
house.
night. People got mad. Who they call weird? What they call Dabo weird? For,
It
what,
was
no, they call
Harborough.
what's
I
name?
think Jim Harborough
Harbaugh
did it
weird. And it didn't work. It didn't work out for him. They called him weird, but that wasn't weird.
because
Like, he
people don't
went
know that. People don't know that used to happen all the time.
all the
The
time.
great recruiters did stuff like that. Jimbo, not
Yeah,
Jimbo, but Bobby did stuff like that all the time.
man. Bobby went every man. I seen Bobby in Panama City at Mosey and Rutherford High School. He in Panama City for 3 days. I seen him in Pensacola when he went and got Empley and Derrick Brooks. Like just hanging out. Like so. Listen, like these coaches, it's like they're afraid. They send the other coaches, but they're afraid. So if you don't know about the player that's one thing about Nick Saban right now. Remember a couple years ago, Nick Saban was doing what was that dance? I forgot the dance that was real popular. He was at the kid's birthday party. It was a high school recruit. He went to their house for the birthday party, and they was the dab or whatever. And he was doing the dab and shit. You know what I'm saying? And he was in there dancing and hanging out. He an old school coach. So
Yeah,
he know how to relate to these players and he
you got
knows
to
the
adjust.
parents. And the coaches now, they sit home and they don't so it's a big culture shock. A lot of that has to do with what's going on in Florida football now. Dabo Sweeney travels, he goes, he as a head coach, he don't just sit back. He might cry like a little bitch all the time, but he go.
I'll give Dabo
Um,
that. Dabo can run a program.
yeah, I
That he
mean,
can
but
do. He can't,
he
but
t-
he can run a program.
it took him 7 years though.
Well, there was no expectations at Clemson. Though that fan
Well,
base and that organization gave him time.
living here, there was I live up here. It was expectations.
But
It
you live in
wasn't
South
expect.
Carolina, but
Yeah,
you live in South
it
Carolina.
wasn't national championship expectations. But these fans, especially when he lost 5 straight years to the Gamecocks,
About to say, but Clemson's not even the biggest school in the state.
exactly. Neither is
South
Miami.
Carolina is.
Miami's not the biggest school in the state. We the smallest. You know what I'm
But that
saying?
but
But
Miami,
what I mean,
South Florida is a state in and of itself, though. So
oh
it's a
yeah,
little
but
different.
what I mean by that, what I mean by just at the school size though. What I mean by that is more Clemson fans in South Carolina than is Gamecock fans. And losing 5 years in a row to the Gamecocks
Mhm.
was not acceptable.
Right.
They was calling for his head. You know what I'm saying? Because still, if you look at it, who put more NFL players in, even during them years they was losing, besides Clowney and what's his name? Clemson was putting more players in the NFL. So I just think people need to be a little bit more patient, especially with Florida State, man. I mean, like them kids are emotional right now. and you keep blaming the kids and blaming the kids, but then if a kid don't come there, you have to. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell Hurricane fans. So don't act like I'm bashing Florida State fans. You come to my channel, you hear the same shit. You keep blaming the kids and blaming the kids, and when they don't want to come to Tallahassee, blame yourself. Blame yourself because they are in these message boards and they listen.
Well, that is true. I've had kids DM me and stuff like that. So that is definitely true. Like when I say something positive, they be like, "Hey man, I appreciate that." Definitely, they definitely do listen.
They listen. They're in these. I've interviewed in my 7 years of doing it. I probably interviewed 150 kids.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And they talk. I talk to them once they're on campus. You can't get them on your YouTube channel, but recruits you can.
right.
Like I said, I had Alan Hay on the day. I told anybody one negative comment. I don't care if you've been on my channel for 7 years. You block. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow you to disrespect these. We have to get out of the point. When is it ever good to hold kids accountable for adults? Like, if you're the man of your household, you in charge. Like, coaches get paid, kids don't.
Right.
When you in a college football, it's for development. When you go into the pros, you get paid, and it's a business. So I see Florida State being bad. I don't think it's going to take 3-4 years. I promise you, I see Miami and Florida State within the next 2 years really fighting again. I'm not saying winning the ACC, but to be honest with you, and everybody freakish about this quarterback at Clemson, I'm not sold on him.
Not until you see him. Right.
I mean, what I saw about him, he's very inaccurate. And he has a real slow release. I think when teams get film on that, he's gonna have problems. There's no more Ben Roethlisberger. Like, you got to get rid of that ball. And he reminds me of a Ben Roethlisberger type of quarterback. Without, you know what I'm saying, but just without the arm. Roethlisberger had an arm. But I mean, Clemson is not going up. Okay.
That's what I said. I said you don't lose the best quarterback in the history of your program, arguably. I think Deshaun Watson has an argument. And you don't lose the best running back in the history of your program. And
you might think I'm crazy.
They're gonna take a dip. They're gonna take a dip this year.
You might think I'm crazy, but if it wasn't for COVID, to me, Trevor Lawrence probably the best college quarterback in the history of college football. I'm just being honest with you. I mean, you look at what he did his freshman year. You look what he did his freshman year, and they did lose to LSU, but he could have had 2 national championships on his back. And the balls that he threw, like I'm talking about, Pat, like he threw that back shoulder fade, those balls that he put in place, like you were always in the game if he was in the game.
So now, to me, Trevor Lawrence, I've always loved his arm. But something doesn't do it for me with Trevor Lawrence. I don't know what it is. Everything you're saying ain't wrong. The numbers say you're right. The wins say you're right. The championship, all that says you're absolutely right. When I watch him, to me, there's something that to me, I look at him and I go, I don't know if he has what I. To me, what? To me, Cam Newton.
That's a good thing.
Cam Newton to me is like somebody people sleep on when I'm talking about college. Well, he did at Auburn, and that Auburn team that didn't have name another play on that Auburn team. Name another play on that Auburn team. And then he went in there and he beat Alabama and won a national championship.
But see, if you think about this right here,
people sleep on Cam when you talk about greatest college quarterbacks.
All right, you think about this right here. You look at the games Travis Etienne played without Trevor, and you look at the games he played with Trevor, but then do the vice versa.
Well, I'll say that you're right about that. Etienne benefited from Trevor Lawrence way more than Trevor Lawrence benefited from Etienne. Yeah, I think Etienne is a bit overrated in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence.
I don't think he translates to the NFL that well.
I call Trevor the Sith Lord, man. And you know what? The good thing you said is 100 is something that you see. That means he hasn't reached his full potential.
That's possible. It's very possible there.
Yeah,
Very possible.
that's you know what I'm saying. So I mean, it's just there's you can't say who's the greatest player. Only person I can say the greatest player ever is Michael Jordan. Okay, you can't say who the greatest player in any sport. But just to me, from what I saw from him, and I wasn't a fan of his. Cole Perry actually put me on to him. I wasn't a fan of his coming out of high school until I seen him play, and I was like, and then when I seen him do the one game that solidified it for me is what I seen him do against Alabama defense. Like he was playing pitch and catch. It was like
That's
in
fair.
the that championship game, their worst defeat in the history of that program.
They've had some nasty receivers up there at Clemson too, though.
Yeah, but he threw them open. He threw them open. Are you seeing the game, the Miami game, when the receivers were like fighting for balls with De'Aaron King, but when Perry got in there, they were dropping them, but they were wide open. He was able to throw them open. You remember when Chris Winkie was at Florida State and he was older guy, mature. He knew how to throw. Like receivers didn't have to be
Yeah, because
open.
Chris Winkie was like 26.
27. You know what I'm saying? But you see, he knew how to throw receivers open. You said what's name had the same attribute.
That's what Jameis did. Jameis was like,
yeah.
Jameis could throw you.
Kurt Warner had that same attribute. You don't have to be open. He's gonna throw the ball to a spot where you're open. And that's what I saw about Trevor Lawrence was you didn't have to be open for him to throw you open. So you didn't have to fight for the ball. You just had to turn around and get it. You know, he made receivers' lives a lot easier. You seen it when against the Notre Dame game when he didn't play compared to when he did play.
Right. Yeah, they would hold totally different team. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So I mean, but Florida State, don't listen, man. I know a lot of people still heard about losing Jimbo, but Jimbo had some personal reasons, you know, what happened with his wife, and then the same thing with his daughter. And we all make decisions that are best for us and our families. You can make a decision that's best for you and your family, and it might not affect the fan base. What he did affected the fan base.
Here's
At
the
the end of the
problem.
day, you got to move on from it.
I still like Jimbo. But the problem FSU fans have with Jimbo ain't that he took $75 million. Anybody in their right mind would have took $75 million.
I know I'm not turning down 75
The
million.
problem was that he took the money. The problem was that he left.
Well, that's my problem.
No, hold on. The problem is the way he left. The way he left. He didn't just. He could have left and still did his job. He quit. He stopped. You can ask any of the recruits of that cycle. He completely stopped recruiting once he knew he was out the door. And you set FSU up for failure when you did that. You could at least did your job up until you took. You know what I'm saying?
Bush Davis did the same thing.
That's the problem.
Bush. Phone calls, I'm barely gonna be able to hear you. Bush Davis did the same thing at Miami. You know what I'm saying? But fans want him back. The only thing that I can say is, man,
he had proven killer on the recruiting trail. That's why.
Yes, I mean, only thing I can say is Jimbo got you a championship. Bobby got you two. Jimbo got you one.
Right.
That has to always be. He's a legacy. No matter you hate him or love him, he's a champion in Tallahassee. He's a champion in Tallahassee. So I love him, hate him, whatever. You can't take away. I tell you what, you won't take away that championship ring he brought you.
Never.
You won't take that away. And like I said, it was a lot of personal. I don't know if I could have dealt with like the allegations of his Florida player Stephen with his wife.
Yeah,
all those allegations. I don't even know if I could have dealt with all of that. Then the child being sick. I don't know if I could have dealt. We all have personal demons that we have to you know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, it's better that he did let it go than stay and not have his head in the game at all. Because he could have stayed and not had his head in the game. And then you will be calling for a job for real. So I mean, he didn't leave the cupboard bare.
No, he didn't. That's true. The team had talent, man. The team had talent.
He didn't leave the cupboard bare. I think sometimes it's a new start for everybody, and some coaches just don't stay long. I think at A&M, I give him 3-4 years at A&M, and if he keep playing out years at A&M, he might be the next coach at Alabama or something.
He might be when Saban either him
It's
or Dabo
Jumbo
gonna be
Dabo
that.
ain't going.
You don't think Dabo going
That
to Bama?
no Dabo. You never follow the legend. You always follow the guy who follows the legend.
Right.
You never.
I mean, but Jimbo followed the legend and it worked out for him.
It
So
worked out, so let him do it again.
right.
I mean, but he followed the legend because he was hired as the successor.
Yeah, he was brought in to be the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he was brought in to be the guy, so he was there for a few years. But to jump ship from Clemson, when you got 2 national championships, to go follow in the footsteps of Nick Saban, and I'm gonna let the next guy either succeed or fail. And if he fail and they call me, now I can come in saying, well, he failed. So I'm trying to rebuild it back up again. But I just wanted to hop on, man, and show you some love, man. Y'all, hey,
Always
Polk
appreciate
County,
it,
man.
bro.
Hey, man, y'all support this channel, man. Like one of the most impressive, like serious, one of the most impressive and knowledgeable channels out here, man. I've been waiting for a Florida State channel that I can actually get on and have conversation with, because I'm an old school Hurricane who actually respects Florida State. They're old school Seminoles that actually respect Miami. We should respect the tradition and the culture of this rivalry. And I'm glad that he has his channel to I can come over here and have fun during rivalry weekend. I mean, when we play each other, and
Yes, sir.
just respectfully. Like, I mean, I tell people the 2 greatest defensive backs in the history of football is Deion Sanders and Ed Reed. Period. Like, the 2 greatest. So they came from those 2 schools.
Yeah, the 2
I
best
mean,
linebackers arguably came from the same
yeah,
2 schools.
Derrick Brooks and Ray Lewis.
So we can go all down the line on this
All
thing, man.
down the line. Yeah, I mean, it's so much tradition. And you know what bugged me out? Out of all of the wars we had, it's never been fights. It's been respect. And I
There's been
tell
a few
my
scuffles. There's been a few
scuffles. I
scuffles.
mean, like fight.
But
But
yeah,
you
there's
scuffle
never
with your
been
brother.
there's
You
never
scuffle
been
with
like, yeah, I think you're
the,
right about that.
the one thing I say about Bobby Bowden is Bobby, he might have did Florida State a disservice in this way, because they asked him, Bobby, why do you schedule Miami when you don't have to? Because you would have more national champions. Bobby wasn't no bitch. Bobby said, if I run from Miami, how can I be a national champ without being a state champion?
He didn't do. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, because losing to y'all cost us a couple natties. I
It
got you,
cost y'all yeah.
but it didn't do us no disservice, because at the end of the day, we gained respect from them South Florida kids
Oh
because we
yeah,
played Miami.
exactly. But
And Bobby
and
didn't run from nobody. Bobby would go to Michigan. He would go to LSU. Bobby didn't
yeah.
run from nobody back in the day.
But see that's why I respect Florida State. I will always have a love for Florida State, and the Gators can kiss the black part of my butt, the crack part.
So
Because
Pat 1984 said, "What's up, bro?"
what's good, Pat? What's good with you, man? Um, I'm gonna do. Hey, we got to get some collabs together. Man. We got to get a couple of collabs together. I don't collab with a lot of people. You see, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because people will use your platform and then turn it back on you. I've
Yeah,
watched you build. I've watched you build your platform brick by brick, and do it in the way you're supposed to do it, not pandering to the fan base. Everybody wants to pander. No YouTuber wants to tell the fans the truth. I
you
like you
ain't
because
lying.
you tell them the truth.
You ain't lying.
Everybody want to be. They want to be friends instead of people letting people know what's going on. And then at the end of the year, when you end up being right, now everybody want to come say, "Yeah, Polk, you was right. Yeah, boy, you was right, man. You were right, man. Maybe I need to listen a little bit more." But next year, you're gonna get the same hate until you prove it, until you have to prove it again. But when you win that chip, and if it come through the way you said it was gonna come through, all you gotta do is be like, "Bro, I told you." Stick to your guns, man. You know what you see.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? You got a good eye, man. Love you, little bro, man. You keep doing your thing, man. Hit the like, share, subscribe button to this channel. I share it on my Facebook page. POLK, if you want to come on my Facebook, my 1219 page, and ain't no Florida State fans over there yet, but you can bring as many as you want and
Okay.
enjoy yourself, man. Just grow your channel, grow your brand, man. Maybe one day we'll be able to sit at NBC and and host a Miami Florida State game or something.
Yeah, that'd be dope. But I'm definitely gonna. I'm gonna look you up on Facebook for sure.
I got you, man. Much love, man. Much love to the Seminole Nation. Much
Yes,
respect,
sir.
man. And you guys be easy, man.
All love, bro. Appreciate this. Appreciate it.
All right, bro.
All right. That was Hurricane Zoe, guys. All right. And with that, I think I'm gonna call it. I mean, I still got 68 people in here, but I've already gone for 3 hours. Uh, so I think I'm gonna call it a day today, guys. I'm hungry, about to get on here and get something to eat. Do all the things that come with normal life. I've been effing with pokes. Yes, sir. Pat's one of the day one guys. I mean, everybody that's been on here day one, I remember you, man. Pat, Tyler, uh, Rose. Like, we can go down the list. You guys know who you are, and I appreciate everybody. Again, man, Evers, you killed the portal this weekend. More things to come. So definitely continue to look forward to that stuff. So we had a big, solid recruiting weekend. I'm confident in the recruiting. We'll see what this coaching staff does with this team going into next year, man. I'm not confident in Fuller, but I think this offense might turn a corner next year. But thanks to everybody who showed up and showed out. Hit the like button. If you didn't hit it on your way in, by all means, hit it on your way out. Shout out to Hurricane Zoe for coming in here and showing the love and talking some football with us. Always a welcome guest over here, bro. Always a welcome guest. I've been over there on your channel, and I know you've been over here, bro. So Zoe is always a welcome guest over here. And hey, I think the next time y'all gonna see me is tomorrow. I'm gonna be on that live stream with T2I and the boys, and we're gonna be on that live stream during the national championship. So definitely come in and tune into that one. Thanks for Michael Allen. Thanks for being new to the channel, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, baby. And yeah, I'm gonna get out here, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Go get me something to eat. I'm hungry. So, like always, stay classy, Seminoles, and continue to show love to all the other fans out there. Whether you're Miami fans, I got the Georgia fans in here. We have Florida fans, whoever you're a fan of. We Seminoles first and foremost, but we also are college football. And stay classy, Seminoles. And like always, go Noles. We out here.